All right, welcome everybody to session 2 of Dragon of Icespire Peak. We had our first session last week, was a lot of fun. We're going to recap what occurred last week and then get into today's session. So we started off last week's session with the group arriving or having arrived in the town of Phandalin some time ago. The group had already met one another and had known a little bit about each other, some of them longer than others. The session really picked up in the Stonehill Inn, where the group was either getting some food or, in Kurtu's case, already working there, cleaning up, and sort of gave each character a chance to introduce themselves. We had some interesting role play as far as getting to know our characters a bit and what they're all about here. The group had previously decided that they would take up one of these job postings that they had found in the local job board. So as they made this discussion and we're going to head out to the board to get those listings, Kat actually had already taken them off of the board and displayed them for the group to see. The group reviewed the 3 listings that were there. One was to head to a dwarven excavation and let a couple dwarves there know of the white dragon that had been spotted around this area so that they were aware and they weren't in danger. The other one was to head over to a gnome establishment and pretty much the same thing, let them know what's going on and come back with having explained the danger to them. And then the last one was to head out to a woman who is known to be somewhat of a alchemist, and again notify her she lives a ways from town and they wanted to make sure that she was safe. So each of these postings on the job board was offering a small amount of compensation if a group would do the task and come back with proof of having completed the task. And so the group, after reviewing the 3 of these, decided to head out to the dwarven excavation. They spoke with one another, decided a little bit of a game plan here, and then decided to make their way out of the Stonehill Inn, head down to the Lion Shield Coster, which is where the store in Phandalin that sells armor and weapons. And we had Talhoun there exchange his lance, and I think some crossbow bolts were purchased and maybe a few other odds and ends. The group then left there and headed up to Barthen's Provisions, and that is sort of more of a general store, and purchased some additional things, supplies such as food or tents, that kind of thing, knowing that this trip was going to be a bit lengthier. The information they had received actually from in town, once they had headed to the townmaster's home, or the townmaster's building I should say, they found that he was locked inside and refused to exit, seemingly was very scared of these rumors of the dragon and indicated as much through the doorway. The group then engaged him in conversation, asked for some specific directions of how to get to the dwarven excavation area, and he pretty much told them southwest, just keep heading down that way. You can't really miss it because of the way that the rocks of the hill or the mountainous area there are formed. It kind of really stands out. So if you head southwest, he called it a day's journey, and he said you'd be able to see it there. Turned out after you guys started making the trip over the plains, it was very calm, very relaxing out here. No real signs of danger, even though you had heard some different rumors. For example, some orcs apparently were in the area. Your eyes were peeled and making your way sort of down there. So the group did find this location of the dwarven excavation and noticed it from a little bit of a ways away. Decided to, I believe, take a short rest outside of the dwarven excavation, and this allowed Finn to cook up some treats and distribute them among the team. The group then headed into the excavation area itself to find out what was inside. After entering and kind of maneuvering through this rocky terrain, they found a wall there was sort of a door there. They could tell it was very old and pretty damaged, but the group decided to head through that, found the remains of some buildings, really just the foundations at this point. Who knows how long they had actually been here, and pretty quickly encountered a couple of dwarves. These dwarves looked to be having been prospectors perhaps here, or were searching in this area, and very likely, based on the description from town, these were the 2 individuals that the mission was to let them know about the dangers of the dragon. The group actually let them know. Surprisingly, it seemed like at least one of them already knew about the dangers of the dragon, or at least said as much, but he was more concerned about some more immediate dangers, as he and his companion here had spotted some jellies that were to the east in this area of the ruins that they were uncovering, excavating here. And they asked the group if they would be willing to go in and take care of these jellies for them in order to make it safe so that these guys could continue their excavation and study in this area. The group was perhaps a bit hesitant at first, but once the dwarves agreed that they would sign a piece of paper or something along those lines stating that they were made aware of from the group of this danger, so they could, the group could take that back to the town master and use that as proof. And in addition, the dwarf indicated that he and his companion both had these magic stones known as ascending stone that could be used to communicate between the two stones, and they offered to give them to the group if the group would take care of any of the jellies they found inside. So this enticed or sweetened the offer, perhaps. The group decided to head in. Particular notice, once the group did start making their way in a little bit here, they saw a couple dwarven statues that had these sort of evil grins on their faces in stone. So this was a bit curious. It made perhaps the group a little bit weary as they made their way inside. Pretty quickly discovered one of these jellies stuck to the ceiling, and it was Cat that fired off a crossbow bolt, striking into the jelly and wounding it. This was our first actual battle then of the campaign. The group sort of rushed in, attacking the jelly. Of particular note here, when Talhoun rushed in, passing by the altar in the back end of the room and slashing at it with his great sword, it actually caused this jelly to split in two, which is information that Kurtu had recently shared with the group. He knew that this could happen, but he wasn't sure exactly what could make it happen. So seemingly slashing damage did the trick. As that one was split, you guys continued dealing with those two creatures. At the same time, another one of these jellies was sticking to a column in this room, very near Bryn, and descended down that column and attacked Bryn, though she was able to evade its strike. The group then was able to dispatch the jellies, the two half little jellies, and then this new big jelly, and looked about the room looking for anything of interest. Spent about a bit of time searching. Didn't find a whole lot here. The altar itself was bloodstained, so this drew a little bit of concern. Group then kind of made their way back. There was one passage that was open and was sort of filled with rubble. It seemed like it had recently been excavated, perhaps the dwarves themselves doing this. And I forget who it was. Somebody in the group suggested that based on the layout of the room or the structure, wouldn't it make sense that there would be a similar chamber on the other side? So the group specifically searched that area and was able to discover indeed that there was a secret door that led that way. So once the secret door was shifted open and this tunnel was revealed, the group headed in, though it was a very narrow fit. Group made their way down, found a door, opened that, found just an empty little area, like a 10-foot closet kind of thing. Then continued down the rest of the hallway into another room that looked like it was also recently excavated, or maybe not recently, but excavated nonetheless. However, there seemed to be nothing of interest here. The group searched this area looking for anything out of the ordinary, couldn't find anything, searched the little 10-foot closet, couldn't find anything, made their way back to the temple area, and then after discussing amongst themselves, decided that they were going to take a rest somewhere here and then make their way back to Phandalin, I believe. So that is where we left off. So does anybody have anything to like to add to our recap that I missed there?
I don't quite remember if you mentioned it, but the town master didn't actually show himself to us. He stayed shut in his little house the whole time. So I don't know if that'll play a bigger role later. But yeah, we don't actually know what he looks like. He just yelled at us through the door.
That is true. Yeah, he had this sort of little slot up at the top of his window. I believe even Finn climbed on someone's shoulders to try to address him. But yeah, he refused to open the door and even stated something along the lines of, "If you're a dragon, I won't taste good," something like that. Anything else anybody would like to add? All right, hearing nothing, we'll go ahead and award inspiration to Bramble for Bramble doing a journal log from the point of view of his character known as Bramble's Log. So that has been shared with the full group, a nice little recap in writing. So yeah, go ahead and take inspiration for that, Bramble, and we will pick up where we left off, guys.
So we haven't actually gone back and spoken to the dwarves yet, right? We just spoke to ourselves and decided that we should just nothing much left to explore. Let's call it a night and then leave in the morning, right?
That is my understanding, yes.
Yeah, but Cat had a good, I don't know, Cat was like, what is it, a 4-hour walk or something like that?
It's somewhere between 6 and 7 hours from here back to Fandom.
Yeah, Finn would probably want to see if he can camp out here. Ask these guys, hey, what's it been like here? Has it been dangerous? You have a nice setup? I'm going to look around and see if they have a campsite, a cooking pot, typical Skyrim stuff.
Sure, so you want to head back out towards the dwarves and start looking for something along those lines?
Yeah, I'll head up. I'll get my pointer out and move out here and see the guys.
Adam, Bramble will light his own torch.
All right, so torch on Bramble. Let me go ahead and get that set up for you. Oof, getting super bad lag all of a sudden. I'm going to try turning Explorer mode off, guys, just to make that a little bit more reasonable. Yep, that seemed to do the trick. Unfortunately, they still have not perfected that yet. Okay, torch for Bramble. Alright, that should be all set. Okay, so Finn, yeah, you make your way back out here and you notice both of the dwarves. The one that has spoken to you before is the one that's currently further away from you, Dazzlin. You've heard him mention a few different times, or speak, I should say, to his companion a few different times here, Norbus. Norbus seems to be just kind of standing here, very just quizzical perhaps, scanning around, looking in this different areas. As you approach Dazzlin, you notice his face kind of lights up a bit. Were you able to take care of the problem with the jellies?
Yeah, it's all set. Everything seems to be fine in there. Just kind of curious about this place. Can you tell us more about it?
Well, it's kind of a ruin, and we discovered it, and it seems to be of dwarven nature, so we decided we wanted to see what it was, find out what's in here. Maybe there's treasures and stuff like that.
Well, I gotta tell you, see those statues? They look pretty mean. They look angry about something, and inside there's like an altar with a bunch of blood on it. And so, I'd just be careful if I were you.
Aha, caution is my middle name. Yes, of course, I will be very careful. I was curious about the statues myself too, but this one you can see, and you see he kind of starts walking over to the one closest to you. This one here is a bit damaged, defaced. I don't know if it's just time or if someone had perhaps damaged it. I don't know of any evil groups of dwarves in this area going back in history, but who knows? And maybe they just created this to try to make it look scary so nobody would come in and steal all their stuff. Hey, Norbus, doesn't that make sense? And you notice Norbus just kind of like shakes his head.
Yeah, it is all broken faced. You mind if I take a closer look? Maybe I could see what happened. I got these tools here. I can kind of look around and investigate.
Be my guest. See what you can find.
All right, I'll try to do that, Adam. I'll get my, I don't know. I'll decide what tool I need as I go up and look around and investigate. I want to know what caused the damage. Was it an internal combustion or was it external influence? And if it was, what was the nature of it?
Sure. Yeah, give me a investigation check, blind. You know, it's really hard. It's really hard to say here, Finn. As you look carefully along the statue itself, you look to see if you can find any obvious reasons for the damage. Being that there's nothing super obvious here, you get the impression that perhaps something strange is at play here. Maybe this statue actually started coming to life perhaps, and then part of it was damaged by someone striking it, and then it reverted back to its stone form, which leaves this sort of shattered face expression.
Oh. Huh. Okay, I'll keep that information to myself for a bit.
If I had the ability to fix it, I was thinking about getting a spell that would allow me to fix things and mend things and stuff. But I decided not to learn that thing. But Mr. Dwarf, I got a question for you.
And you see he turns back over towards you, Kurtu. Well, yes, what is it, Scaly One?
Yeah, I think we could be very helpful. Would it be worth it, anything to you, if we found an extra, like a hidden passage or anything, so you could do more treasure hunting?
Well, yeah, of course it would be, but that's kind of like what we were trying to do. You see, Norbus and I were really good at finding old secret places, and we were trying to do that in there, but that's when we saw the jelly. So, well, now that you've taken care of it, we can get back to work, eh, Norbus?
I personally would think that if someone was to help me out, I would help them out. That's how the world works these days.
You're talking about payment. Yeah, we already agreed. I would sign your little piece of paper, and you took care of the jelly so you can have our stones.
Yeah, but what if we found a hidden passage to save you guys time?
Did you find anything?
No, not yet, but we may be able to help you, and, because we want to go ahead and stay the night here and, leave for town in the morning.
You notice he scratches his chin a bit and says, okay, then, how about, you guys search out in this area out here, and Norbus and I will head in there, because that's where we were looking, and you see if you find anything out here, and let us know.
But you can't even attack two itty-bitty. I'm sorry, but, those jellies weren't really, we just shot them with fire and things like that, and they're gone. But, I guess. I don't know.
Well, Norbus and I were not fighters, right? We're more like, we search for stuff, and we find stuff, so, yeah.
You found jellies. I know,
right.
I remember.
And now you took care of them, so now we can do what we do best.
Okay. I hope you find some more treasures.
Hey, Adam, can I look around for remnants of the face? And if I just want to know if there's a possibility I could put it back together. I don't know if that's a smart move, but I just want to see if I can see remnants of the face.
There's chunks of rock on the ground here. Again, hard to say based on your previous check whether or not this comes from the statue or this is other rubble. You're not quite sure. You don't, just kind of picking through the pieces here. You don't see any obvious pieces that would suddenly link up to the face.
Adam, while they went to chat with the dwarfs in the other direction, after learning how Kat opened that secret door, I wanted to go back into this main room here and just spend some time looking for any kind of secret doors or compartments. We spent a lot of time on the altar last time, so I just want to make sure we didn't miss any secret doors or anything in this room too.
Okay, yeah, and you guys have already spent some time searching this room, but go ahead and move yourself, your token, to a spot that you would particularly like to search, and then I'll go ahead and get a blind investigation from you.
Let's say he'll start, he'll run around the pillars, all four of the pillars, and then he'll run around the walls, just checking to see if there's any seams for him to press and open.
So it sounds like you want to do a really extensive search here, though. So probably like an hour works. You're running to search each pillar and then go across the entire breadth of the room looking for anything out of the ordinary.
Yeah, if we're going to end up staying the night, then I wouldn't want to leave any stones unturned.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. So it sounds like you start on the pillars here. Go ahead and throw me a blind investigation check. This will take you a bit of time as you start searching in this area, seeing if you can find anything. So group, as you guys are out here chatting with the dwarf, Finn, to your earlier question, you do notice next to these two rubble piles, so like here and here, there look to be small bedrolls, and you can see like a pouch or maybe a backpack. You get the impression this is where they're resting when they're not otherwise working.
Hey, so you guys hungry? What do you eat around here?
Well, right now it's just the rations. It's not too bad, but I do miss me some dwarven dark mushrooms.
Dark mushrooms? Well, I don't have much. I have some spices. I made lunch as we walked out of here, but got any meats? Is there anything around I could forage?
You notice he kind of scratches at his chin again. Well, I mean, if you're good at hunting, maybe if you head back outside, you'll find something, eh, Norbus? You think they'll find any game out there?
Hey, maybe Talhoun could use his trap that he so proudly traded his giant lance for.
Calhoun seems particularly quiet as we wait for his player to come back. But yeah, if you guys wish him to head out and do something like that, I think he'd probably want to go with a group, but it's something he could try.
He can't deny us. That's what I'm saying.
You know, I'll go out there with him. I have nature and proficiency and perception, so I think that's kind of why I picked those things, is that he could spot maybe herbs or spices and maybe some onions, wild onions and mushrooms and stuff like that.
All right, so you're going to make your way to the outside?
Yeah, I mean, I'll start walking out here if...
We may as well all go.
Well,
I will babysit.
wait, so we should wait for Bramble then. He seemed really interested back there. It might take him a while.
Well, I can take care of the rabbit if you guys want to go outside.
Yeah, let's have a talk, guys. Come on. Cat, come on. Kurtu, come on.
I'm going. I'm coming.
How much further out do you think we need to get from this main entrance before if I remember, to find some woods or areas where I could trap, like, grasses and trap things?
Well, you'll recall that's not actually the main entrance. That's just the wall that you have to go through to get to this area. There was sort of like a cavern or chamber that continued on from there.
Okay, so here's where I'll stop. Hey, guys. That statue. What do you guys think of that statue? Since I'm out of earshot from the dwarves.
I mean, if you're whispering, sure.
I can go a little further. It doesn't matter. Maybe another little further,
Yeah,
but I want to.
Over here.
Sure. Yeah, and then I want to talk to these guys and see what their thoughts are. And I'll tell them, look, I could probably fix that statue, but I don't know. It seemed pretty angry.
And as you get to about there, Finn, you are surprised to notice coming through the doorway suddenly are some humanoid forms. You hear them first before seeing them, but turn as you're speaking to your companions to lock eyes onto them, noticing that they appear to be orcs. And as they spot you, you notice the one in the lead grips onto this great axe and begins to charge towards you. And we are in combat, guys.
Can I say it? Looks like meat's back on the menu, boy.
Oh, Lord. Do we hear this? Do Bramble and I hear this, Adam?
I would say no. I'm going to call you guys surprised for this first round based on how far away you guys are. All right, let's move to some more upbeat music here for our combat. Try this one. All right, so through that doorway, you notice the first orc emerges here as he rushes through the open door, moves to here, rushing up right next to Kurtu. Kurtu, as he gets up closer to you here, you can see he's holding on to his great axe and he slashes out towards you with this. I will need a defensive roll, please.
Hey Adam, just real quick, I don't know the black area here, if I'm, if that's actually I don't know what those black areas are.
That is simply a foundation. So you're noticing the outline of the foundation of previous buildings.
Perfect, alright.
You are critically hit, Kurtu. Go ahead and roll a crit on yourself, please. This will be a slashing crit. Alright, so normal damage, and you're going to be losing 1d6 HP at the start of your next turn. So here comes the damage. Oof, maximum damage as the great axe comes down on you incredibly solidly, knocking Kurtu right to the ground with one mighty blow.
All I I asked for was to make it to level 4.
All right, next up is Talhoon. All right, let's see what Talhoon still has. All right, well, Talhoon will step up to here, and he will use 5 points of his Lay on Hands to restore HP back to Kurtu. So Kurtu, you'll get 5 HP back, or actually he'll give you 4, because I think he usually likes to keep 1 in stock. So he'll save 1, give you 4, but remember, you will still be bleeding when your turn comes around.
Can I jump in and suggest and hope that Talhoon would be smart enough to say, "Help, we're under attack by orcs," to the folks?
No, but you can certainly say that even out of turn. If it's something really quick, feel free to say, "I shout really loud."
Then I do that. I shout really loud, "Hey guys, we're under attack, there's orcs over here!" There you go.
I yelled, "Ouch," really loud.
All right, so that was Talhoon's turn. So Kurtu, you are currently prone on the ground. Your turn. What would you like to do?
All right. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm down. I don't want to give him an opportunity attack. I am going to go ahead and.
Oh yes, how did we already forget that? I literally just said that. So you will lose 1d6 HP at the start of your turn because you're currently bleeding, Kurtu. So go ahead and roll a d6.
I'm going after the rabbit next.
Chance for one of Bill's signature low rolls. Let's go, Bill.
Oh, I have to roll it. I just roll 1d4. Okay.
1d6, please. Yep, and yeah, I'm trying to put as many dice in your hands as possible, so when you roll something like that,
Oh my golly!
that
rabbit
slashing
is stew.
that slashing wound on you unfortunately continues to hemorrhage, and you collapse back to the ground. All right, next up is Cat's turn.
All right. Are we sure Talhoon didn't want to move 5 feet forward on his turn?
I mean, if you wanted to do that, I think that's fair enough. We could say he did that.
Sure. So now I'm gonna take the shot with sneak attack.
If you hit, yeah, absolutely.
If I can pull up the character sheet, which I should have done already.
You fire your crossbow bolt,
I
but
missed.
sails wide.
All right, and then I will back off. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and then I'll try to get anyone's attention. I'll like wave at the group to, if they haven't already heard them shouting. I can't tell if they can see me or not, but I'll wave at them and say we need help over here. Park me there for 30 feet, and then I'm done. Where's my intern
All right,
button?
yeah, go ahead and hit your intern button, and we'll move to the next orc. So this next orc charges out, running right up here to Talhoon and swings out at him. Talhoon manages to evade this strike easily, though, as we move to Bramble. So Bramble, you are surprised as you're currently in here just kind of searching around, searching these pillars, when suddenly you hear this shout from the west. Bryn, you just ran and kind of did a little bit of a hustle down through that southern passage, came back up trying to find this rabbit. Once you finally locate him, you see he's like, I imagine, hopping up and trying to reach different areas of the pillars. When you spot him doing this, you're trying to just make sure he's okay, when suddenly you hear these shouts, caught off guard as we move to our next orc. All right, this orc is going to charge through as well. He will get up here next to Talhoon and strike out at him. Always scary to kill a guy when he's not even here, but let's see what happens. Talhoon is struck as this guy swings out towards him and connects. All right, Talhoon takes a pretty strong blow from that slashing attack and is wounded. Next up is Finnegan.
All right. Well, Finnegan's gonna move here. That's weird. So did my token move? Because my little orange thing's still there.
It's probably just lag.
Roger that. Okay, so Finnegan's moved there. And he gets out his cook's utensils, and he has that little turkey baster, the thing with a little tube and a little squeegee on the side. He's gonna reach into his cooking utensils. He's got some old nasty, like old rind and just old nasty like rotten food. He's gonna suck it up in the turkey baster and squirt it down the line here, down this way, and he's gonna do Tasha's caustic brew.
All right, go ahead and post that spell, and then you're going to roll me 3 separate spell effect rolls.
Okay.
So I'll just go in order, unless you're saying you want to do them out of order. I'm just going to assume you're going 1, 2, 3, top to bottom.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, and this is a dex check. So let me check his real quick. Let's see. Yes, you are able to affect the first guy fully. Second guy fully. Third guy fully. All right, so as this baster of caustic brew flashes out, striking all 3 of them with acid, it looks like they are going to take some damage. Oh, so they don't take damage until the start of its turn. Okay, so they are currently covered in acid, though.
Yep, they got that nasty food on them. So, and that's 5. There's 10, 15, 20, 25. What's this? Can I step there?
That is the ring outline of some type of a pillar or some type of a structure.
Okay, I'll go there. 30. Action, that, and my turn.
All right, next up is this guy. He's going to move through this area, get to here, and then you're going to notice Finnegan as he goes very aggressive and rushes ahead using a special ability that allows him to move closer as a bonus action as long as he's getting closer to an enemy. Once he gets up here, he will slash out with that great axe, and I will need a defensive roll from you, Finnegan. All right, so as he attempts to slash out at you, you manage to barely evade his strike. All right, this guy's going to make his way around here, striking out at Talhoun, now on a flank. Talhoun manages to avoid this strike. This guy is going to rush around this way, getting up next to Finnegan and striking out at him as well. Finnegan, a defensive roll, please. All right, once again, you manage to evade that strike as that axe blow swings over your head. All right, this one is going to strike out at Talhoun once again, so here comes his defensive roll.
He gets, at the start of his turn, he gets 2d4. I'll roll that as my memory.
I'll take that first one from the last one.
Oh, okay.
And then for each additional guy, we'll have you roll it. So he took that damage. All right, this guy is going to strike out at Talhoun. Unfortunately, he cannot evade that strike, and this attack does land, wounding Talhoun, who collapses to the ground.
Well, this isn't going great.
Not so far. No, Talhoun's turn, and here comes a death save. And these I always roll to GM so nobody knows how close someone is to croaking. All right, next up is Kurtu. Death roll, please. Again, to GM. All right, and that is Kurtu's turn as we move to Cat.
All right, I'm going to shoot again at...
Adam, do I take any damage at all from the bleeding thing? I don't know how that works.
You know, I don't think this had any kind of a wears off. Usually, if it doesn't have anything that wears off, it means it's usually like you have to get some kind of healing or a staunch action. Yeah, so I would say this is a staunch action, so I'm going to say you're still bleeding. Yeah, so count that as 1 failed death save.
I don't think so, Adam. This one's different. It says roll damage as normal and the creature loses 1d6 hit points at the start of its next turn. It doesn't say at the start of each of its next turns.
Oh, good catch. Yeah, you're right. So no, that's no longer affecting you then. So it just hit you that one time. So you got healed, and then you would have taken that 1 set of damage, which dropped you. So yeah, no longer under that effect. Good eye there.
So I think we're even now, Bill. All right.
Oh, I was typing a message, brother.
All right, Kat, your turn.
Okay. So this is not going great. I'm gonna go ahead and use my shifting feature. So that's a bonus action, I believe. Where'd it go? Yes, so I can transform for 1 minute, and this will give me 10 extra walking feet, and if anything ends its turn within 5 feet of me, I can move 10 feet as a reaction without provoking opportunity attacks.
All right, nice. Yeah, I'll rely on you to remember when that affects you, so you can say like, "Hey, I want to take that reaction now." But yeah, go ahead and add those temp HP.
Yep. Well, I already have 4 temp HP from the meal, so I'm not getting that part. But I do want the movement, so I'm going to do it anyway.
All right, fair enough.
And then I will take my action to shoot the one I have a clear shot on in front of me. Finn here. This one.
All right, the one straight to your west.
Yeah. That's gonna be another miss.
Yeah, unfortunately, dice not with you so far, Cat. That'll miss.
They never are. And then I'm gonna go ahead and... Can I look back and see if the others are mobilizing this direction? Do I have time to do that on my turn?
Bryn or Bramble, do you appear to be getting ready to rush this way?
Yes.
Yeah.
Alright, then I will leave that to them, and I will pop around to... That's 10, 15, 25, 30, and 35. We'll end it there, so I can still see them. And that is my turn.
Okay, Finnegan, do you happen... I'll take that damage for him, but do you happen to speak Orcish?
Nope. Giant, gnomish, and common.
All right, you will hear the orc next to you turn his head back and say something in Orcish, but you don't know what it is that he's saying. This one, however, noticing both of these guys are down, is going to step past. And that acid, do they make another save to shake it off, or does it affect them just once, or...
Let me... My first time using it, I think it's covered... Creature's covered as no, start of his turn, so he's screwed. That's good. That's a good spell.
Uses its action to scrape or wash the acid off.
Okay, fair enough. Then he is going to move here and use an action to wipe off the acid. Next up is Bramble.
Okie dokie. So Bramble, knowing Bryn is going to be rushing in behind him, he's going to move in to the chamber to here. And as he's running, he reaches into his pouch and grabs one of those darts that Finnegan's parents had at his at the Tea Glow Inn, and he's going to sling it as hard as he can at this one here in front. It'll be at disadvantage because it's outside of its range.
Yep, okay, makes sense.
He'll sling it anyways.
Yeah, even at disadvantage, that will manage to connect. Go ahead and post damage. Alright, that dart manages to catch him in the shoulder, wounding him as it penetrates flesh.
Hey, big face, come back this way.
Okay, Bryn's turn.
That is a very brave little rabbit. Fill rush there. Whoa. Alright. She's gonna hurl a javelin at that one.
Alright, also at disadvantage based on range, and yes, that will sail wide.
Ooh. Don't worry, I still have much more than that.
Alright. This one will move to here. Actually, he'll move 5 feet short of that, and then he will use an action to clean the acid off of him.
Adam, wouldn't he have taken damage once already?
He would have, yep. I'll apply that. I see that Finn has rolled it. Alright, next up is Finn.
Alright, action disengage, movement 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Bonus action, magic stone. I'm going to pick up 3 stones from the ground and cast. So I have the little wrist rocket thing and like a bracelet, and I press some buttons and some liquid falls on these stones. And free action, I'm going to hand it to this dwarf here next to me. Say, we're under attack. Throw it at this guy, and I'm going to point to this guy. It's a magic stone. It should work.
Notice this dwarf Norbus looks to be quite in shock here. In the words of, "We are not really fighters, come back to you." You see he takes them from you, but he's shaking pretty badly. You're not sure how capable he's going to be.
Well, I just give him 1, and I say, just throw it at him. Just throw the rock. So I'm going to try to convince him of just throwing a rock at him. And that's pretty much all I can do.
All right, this guy will move forward. Getting up to here, and he is going to swing out at you with that great axe, Finnegan. Oof, and you are critically hit, Finnegan. Go ahead and roll a slashing crit on yourself. Alright, same one, so you'll suffer some damage and then bleed. So that is, wow, another huge high roll as this axe comes down, chopping into Finnegan and dropping him to the ground.
Are you? You don't have temp HP or anything?
I had 10 hit points and 2 temp HP.
Ouch.
Alright, this one, I don't know if anybody can actually see what he's doing, but he's going to use his action for one thing, and then he will move to here. This one's also going to move forward. He will then charge forward thanks to that special ability of his, getting up to here and striking out at Cat with that great axe. Cat, defensive roll, please.
Where'd it go?
Just click your token, and that'll be one of the buttons at the top. Unfortunately, the blade...
that hits me.
It does indeed, yes, as this great axe comes down at you for a chipping blow of 7 points of damage. Alright, move to the top of the round. Go ahead and roll 2d4 for me here, Finn, because he's still covered in the acid.
Oh, and I'll use my reaction to move 10 feet away after he ends his turn.
Okay, yep, feel free to do so. Alright, and he's going to use his action to wipe the acid off of himself, and then he's going to continue moving forward. To here. Okay, and as we are at the top of the round, I'm going to go ahead and add Norbus and Dazzlin in, as they don't really have much of a choice, so they have to do something now. Okay, so we add those 2 guys into the initiative order. Actually, it might have only got one of them. Look at the other one. Okay, alright, so this guy just did his turn moving. So Talhoon has to make a check here. Alright, and then we move to Kurtu. Kurtu, you have actually been stabilized, so you do not need to make a check. Cat, your turn.
Have I been stabilized?
I shall tell you if you survive.
Fair enough.
Alright, so I guess I'm shooting the one directly in front of me.
Alright, you line up a shot at this big hulking orc as he moves his muscles in anticipation of your shot.
And I will, you know what? This is kind of danger zone. I'm going to use our homebrew rule to add a d8 to this as using my hit die.
Alright, sure thing. So you're going to add a d8 to this, so go ahead and make your attack roll, and then you can roll that HD8 separately.
I will do that momentarily.
Alright, go ahead and burn
Guess
that
I didn't need
HD,
it.
but that will certainly hit, yes.
So that...
31 to hit,
Indeed, yes.
potentially.
This bolt strikes across, injuring this orc as it catches him in the arm.
And with sneak attack, obviously, because Bryn is next to him.
Indeed, yes.
Good. And then I will continue to retreat. 1, 2, 3, 4. One more. And That's good.
All right, next up is this orc. He is going to charge forth, getting past, rushing up to Bryn, and swinging out at Bryn with his great axe. Defensive roll, Bryn.
Sorry, I had it on the measure tool. I was like,
No worries, no worries. All right, as that axe blade flies down, you manage to parry that strike and are not hit. All right, Dazzlin looks very nervous. He is actually going to back over into this corner and try to hide behind these rocks. Norbus here, also looking quite nervous. Seeing that Finn dropped to the ground, he is going to actually disengage and make his way over to here. All right, next up is Bramble.
All right, Bramble is going to move into this space here. As he does, he moves kind of using the wall as leverage. He gets down into like a crouch position, and like a stabbing motion with his quarterstaff, he's going to go to hit this guy that he hit with the dart in the throat with his quarterstaff.
All right, you smash out with that quarterstaff, but are unable to connect.
And using my balance to catch myself, I'm going to come up with a sharp knee and try to catch him with an unarmed strike.
All right, you flash out with that knee. This time you do manage to connect as that smashes right into his ribs, and he will collapse to the ground.
And then it takes my bonus action to do that extra attack. So that was 5, 10. Yeah, I'll stay here in my turn.
Okay, next up is Bryn.
seeing her friends that have fallen, and these nasty orcs rolling up to her, she's gonna rage. And then she's gonna grit her teeth and look at this guy with much hate and discontent. Try to smash him with her greatsword.
You slash out that great sword, but fumble. Go ahead and roll a fumble. Quite embarrassed as you rage out, swing out, but unable to connect even close. All right, next up is this guy. He is going to rush forward, moving past, using that ability to move some extra movement, and he is going to attack Bryn. So Bryn, defense roll, please. This time, the Great Axe manages to connect against you. It will deal 14, cut down to 7 because you are raging, so 7 slashing damage. Finn, death save, please. All right, we'll move on to our next orc. All right, this guy, what is he going to do? He doesn't see much room. You hear him hollering out an orc. He is going to move to here. You, Bryn, and Bramble can see he looks down towards the dwarf and says something very growly in orc. And it looks like Norbus kind of like just recoils from him. He will then take a hand off that great axe, grabbing onto a javelin, and he is going to chuck this at Bramble. It'll be a cover, so I'm going to give you a +2 to this, Bramble, but give me a defensive roll, please. All right, unfortunately, with that defensive roll, he manages to get the javelin through that area and strike into you. And that will deal 4 points of piercing damage to you. All right, and this guy is going to use his action and then move up. All right, this one pairing off against Bramble here. He'll bring that great axe down upon you, Bramble. Defensive roll, please. Once again, unable to...
Can I use my inspiration to re-roll?
You sure can, yeah.
Oh.
So, yeah, so this unfortunately is a re-roll. It's not a take the better of the two, so that will be a crit against you. So go ahead and roll a crit against yourself.
I just roll a fumble? Or do you roll a crit against me?
You roll a crit against yourself. So it's slashing damage. You just roll the crit table and choose slashing and see what it is the orc has done to you. All right, so oof. Oh, this is a bad one. I don't know about this one, Bramble. How much temp HP did you say you had left?
3, and then I got my regular HP.
So you got a total of 12 right now. So if he deals 24 points of damage, no. Actually, if he takes your temp HP and then does double your normal, so 18, 21. So if he deals 21 points of damage to you, this would be considered an insta-kill. So he is going to slash out at you. I'm gonna post this damage twice. Or actually, I'll post it once and then add a d12. So we want to make sure this is 20 points or less for you to remain alive. So there's 12, and then here comes the d12. 20 on the dot. So did I just say 21, right? So you had 3 temp, and then 18 to be 21. So misses by 1, insta-killing you. But you will get dropped to 0, and unfortunately then, you are now considered bleeding, and for the next minute, you're going to lose some additional wounds until you, an action to staunch your wounds. All right, we'll move to the top of the round with this guy. He's going to make his way around to here, and he will throw a javelin at Bryn. So Bryn, defense roll, please. Again, you'll get a bonus cover, so I'm going to increase your defense roll by 2. All right, as he throws this is going to, yeah, with the cover, this is going to mean you just evade this strike. All right, Talhoun is down, Kurtu is down. We move to Cat.
Well, there's not a lot I can do here except fire again. This shot is clear, right?
You're firing through your allies.
The rabbit is down, though. Right?
Yes, yep, correct. So if you shoot straight to your west, then yes, no cover.
I will shoot straight to my west.
That'll certainly connect.
For 8 total.
Bolt punctures into his shoulder this time, just sticking out, and he roars in anger.
Alright, and then I will hop around 5, 10, 15. All good?
Alright, we move to this one. Is this the downed one? Let me check here real quick. Yeah, this is the down one, so I'm going to move him out of initiative. Dazzlin is... Yeah, he looks terrified, as does Norbus. It looks like they're trying to make themselves as small as possible. Bramble, death save, please, at 2 GM. Alright, then you would suffer some bleed damage, and that's not enough to kill you outright, but it will be another failed death save. So we move to Bryn's turn.
Alright, she's gonna hack out at this one.
Alright, looking towards this wounded orc, you swing out. Yeah, that'll connect. Slashing into him, and he drops to the ground.
Alright. As a bonus action, never mind. Okay. Never mind. Alright.
Alright, next up is the one right across from you, and he is going to swing that great axe down upon you, Bryn. Go ahead and give me a defense roll.
Okay. I tried to click my token. Never mind.
Nice, so that will count as a fumble for him. So go ahead and roll a fumble melee, and we'll see what happens to the orc. Alright, he's quite embarrassed as he swings wildly and is unable to connect against you. Finnegan, okay, yep, good deal. We'll move on to the next one. Alright, this guy, Bryn, you're actually going to notice he leans down and stabilizes Finn here as he quickly puts some cloth and so forth to the wounds. And then you see he steps up and in very broken common he says, "We take down sissy girl, then go find cat girl." Alright, this one here will move through and step on top of Bramble's downed body, stepping to the other side to swing down at you, Bryn, now on a flank, so he's going to get a +2 to his attack score. Defense roll, please. He manages to connect against you with that great axe, dealing 2 points of slashing damage as you are raging. Alright, this one I believe is down. I'm going to get him out of the way. His turn is over. So we move to the top of the round. Alright, and that'll be this guy here. And he is going to step past into Bramble's square and swing down at you, Bryn. Another defensive roll, please. Yeah, once again, you managed to evade that strike. Talhoun, I'm going to remove him from initiative. And Kurtu, we move to Cat.
Alright, I'm going to move 5, 10, 15. With the lighting, I can't tell which one. Are these all four of the orcs I can see? Are they still all still standing?
They are, yes.
Okay. Let's see. I will pop one more space. That doesn't help because I still can't see their health bars. Which one looks like the most hurt?
On a quick look, I would say the one straight to your one up and then straight to your west.
This one?
The one that is just north of Bryn, yeah.
Yeah. Then I will shoot out at him.
Yeah, that bolt connects, striking him, and go ahead and post damage. Yeah, this will catch him right in the chest, and you see he grabs at the wound as he collapses to the ground.
And then I still have 4 more squares of movement, so I'm going to go... hang on. Where's my ruler? Nope, he can see me wherever I go, so... I will, I'll go back to my corner. And that will end my turn.
Alright, Dazzlin and Norbus, again, just look to be very terrified. They're kind of shrinking down in fear here. Bramble is still on death saves. Yeah, so go ahead and make a death save here. I think the bleed on Bramble, unfortunately, was round by round, wasn't it? Yeah, start of each of its turns. So, alright, so yeah, Bramble would suffer some additional bleed damage, and then we move on to Bryn.
Alright. Bryn's gonna try to hit that one.
Yes, that will certainly connect as you slash out. Alright, yeah, your greatsword connects solidly as you hit him right in the shoulder and drag that down to his midsection, dropping him.
Alright, and she's going to use her bonus action, Fey Step, to move right there.
Okay. Alright, this one is down, so we will remove him. Finnegan is no longer making death saves. I'll remove him. Okay. This one is going to run back towards you here, Bryn, and slash out with that great axe. Go ahead and make a defense roll. Alright, you managed to evade that strike. Oh, did we lose Cat?
I didn't hear anything you said.
Oh, defense roll on Cat as the orc rushes up and swings out with the great axe. That will certainly connect, unfortunately. So, yeah, that's going to be enough damage to drop Cat to the ground. All right, move to the top of the round. This guy is now down. Cat, death save, please.
It's on the character sheet somewhere, right?
Yep, and you want to set to GM right before you click that. It's just going to say death save right under that section. All right, and then we'll move to our next characters here. Dazzlin and Norbus, again, just looking quite terrified. I'm going to remove Bramble out of initiative, and we get to Bryn.
Alright, she's gonna hack out at this dude.
You swing out, but he manages to evade your strike.
Drat.
All right, he returns the favor, chopping down against you here. Bryn, defense roll. He manages to connect, hitting you for 4 points of slashing damage once we cut that in half because of your rage. All right, this guy will take a moment to stabilize Cat, and then he is going to rush out this way. All right, Cat no longer needs to make saves, so I'll take that out. Dazzlin and Norbus, so we move to Bryn.
Alright, she's gonna fight to the bitter end and hack out the one closest to her.
Yeah, that'll connect. You slash out, this time hitting him in the leg and cutting a deep gash there as you see it begins to bleed immediately. Alright, this guy is going to chop out at you, Bryn. Go ahead and make a defense roll. Alright, you managed to avoid his strike. The second one also steps up, edging in here and swinging out as well. Defense roll. This time he manages to get through your defenses, chopping into you for 5 points of slashing, which is enough to drop Bryn. Alright guys, so unfortunately that combat did not go your way. So I'm going to exit out of combat here as we sort of take a moment to figure out what just happened here. All right, so each of you guys, I'm going to go ahead and put us back to our main screen here. So each of you guys having faced these orcs and obviously having been defeated, you're knocked unconscious and have your sort of minds wandering for what is exactly going on here. It would be quite some time later, and I will ask everybody except for Bramble to go ahead and roll a 1d4, please. All right, then I'll go ahead and roll one for Talhoun. Okay, so Finnegan and Cat, it would be the two of you that begin to rouse first. As your eyes open just barely, you can feel your bodies battered, damaged entirely badly. You can feel just bruises all over you, maybe even broken bones. It's hard to say at this point in time. Each of you has been gagged and bound at the feet and at the arms. Your eyes sort of blink open to hearing the sound of two individuals arguing in Orcish. As you take a quick look around you, you find yourself back in this area of the dwarven excavation where these outlines of these ancient buildings were. Most of your companions lie around you, very battered and beaten, much like your own state. Weapons were upon you are no longer nearby. Seemingly they've been perhaps dragged elsewhere. Hard to say. You notice both Dazzlin and Norbus here are nearby you, but interestingly enough, they don't seem to be bound. They just look to be very, very terrified, while each of you is actually bound. And then a distance away, you notice past these two arguing orcs is the lifeless body of Bramble that lies there. Unfortunately, no one was able to get to him in time to save him from this terrible wound. As you guys sit there, again, your eyes just blinking open, you have these gags in your mouth. All you really can do at this point in time would be to mumble, perhaps, as again, you hear these two orcs speaking. Cat, you don't happen to speak Orcish, do you?
I don't.
All right, so as neither of the two of you speak Orcish, you can just hear the two of them shouting, and then you notice Dazzlin, he kind of like perks up as you see one of them, like the biggest orc, kind of pointing down to him, and you see he turns, and you can see like he doesn't obviously speak Orcish, but he's trying to say some words in Orcish, and it's going very badly. But imagine that kid that just took like his first year of Spanish, and he's like throwing out one word or two here, right? And this is kind of how it's going. You notice the orc kind of like cocking his head, and then breaks back into the orc himself actually breaks back into this very rough common. I take these prisoner, sell, make good money, fetch price, good price. You too small, you die. And you see Dazzlin looks back at him and says, "Oh no, I'll be useful for so many things. I can prospect, I can search, I can find things for you. What do you need? I'm sure I can make myself useful." Cat and Finn, you guys, their eyes have blinked open. Like I say, you are bound here, but you'd each have 1 HP at this point in time. Is there anything you would like to try to do?
There's 2 left, right?
There are, yes.
Can my I'm not able to do somatic anything, right?
Your hands and legs are bound, and there's a gag in your mouth.
Oh yeah. Well, no, I'm gonna wait.
Okay, Cat, anything in particular you're trying to do at this point in time?
Are they like looking in our direction, or are they like very obviously like arguing with each other?
They seem to be arguing with one another, but also with Dazzlin here. They don't really seem to be focused on you, no.
Okay. Cat's gonna play. Well, she knows. I guess she knows that she's not. They know that she's not dead. Otherwise, they wouldn't have her tied up. So, is there any way I can like kind of pretend like I'm unconscious, but maybe like if my hands are behind me, can I try to like maybe slide a hand out of the bindings, or are they way too tight for that?
It'd be pretty challenging. Go ahead and give me a blind sleight of hand check, and this will be at disadvantage. And then make sure you have your token selected before you click on blind check. Yeah, unfortunately, no. These ties are too tight on you as you try to wriggle out, spending time here. You spend about a minute or so trying to remain undetected and like loosen these up as much as you can, but not having much in the way of luck.
Just gonna wait for the rest of the team.
All right, so as you guys sit there, you can see them arguing once again. You can see the injured orc here looks back to the uninjured one, the bigger one, and again, you can hear them shouting back and forth kind of in Orcish. The one on the west then looking again back towards the dwarf, and he says, "I tell him, I am chief now. Other guy die. He is bigger. I bigger now. He still wounded." And you notice the other guy that's kind of wounded doesn't seem to speak any common at all, and you just continually seem like shouting an orc. As you notice, Dazzlin kind of starts to speak up a little bit. The wounded one actually like smacks him, and you see he kind of goes sailing 5 feet backwards as he takes like a chuck right in the face. And you see the 2 orcs once again begin to grumble back at one another in Orcish. This seems to go on for quite some time as the 2 of them are very angry and kind of begin pacing back and forth. You notice them kind of looking down at Bramble here. And again, they kind of speak in Orcish. And you notice the smaller one here finally kind of like maybe desists for just a moment and starts to back up after the bigger one kind of shouts something to him again in Orcish. You notice this one starts making his way, what you presume to be outside. All right, and some more time passes now as you guys are waiting here to see exactly what is going to happen. At this point in time, Talhoun and Bryn would both come to with 1 HP, bound and set here, all tied up. All right, Bryn, is there anything that you attempt to do as your eyes open and you realize that you're in a pretty bad state?
Can I try to break my bounds?
You can. It's going to be a bit difficult, but yes, go ahead and give me an athletics check at disadvantage. So this would normally be a blind check, but I'll take that. And yeah, unfortunately, you're unable to break free.
And we're gagged?
You are, yeah. So you could mumble, but your words would be pretty difficult to comprehend. You're obviously not going to be able to get out full sentences and that kind of things. All right, as you guys just sort of lay there and try to wait to see what is going to happen next, you notice the first orc makes his way back in, and you can see he's got a bunch of like sticks and twigs and branches and those sorts of things, and you see he lays them down, and you get the very uncomfortable feeling that it looks like they're getting ready to cook Bramble. As you begin to make a bit of a fuss, you notice this one here walks over, and you can see he's still kind of holding on to his side a bit where some of you guys have struck him. You see he roughly steps by, looks down towards you, and grabs you like by the chest armor, just lifts you up and kind of wiggles with your mouth gag just a little bit so that you can actually speak, and then in Orcish says, "Raya, raya."
Can I try to kick him in the knee?
You can try. It's going to be quite difficult, but yeah, go ahead and give me an attack roll at disadvantage. You can make your axe attack. It won't be axe damage, of course. Or sword, right? So yeah, you try to knee him, but you're not successful, and you notice it's going to be quite easy for him to retaliate here. So go ahead and give me a defense roll at disadvantage, as he basically just slams you right back into the stone ground here, trying to knock you out, and he does indeed, as you are once again knocked unconscious. And you see he just kind of chuckles as he looks around at the rest of you, kind of slapping you guys around a little bit, apprising you of your situation, and then makes his way back over here to work on this fire.
Are they turned away from us now?
They are. They seem to be focused on building this fire.
Can I try to quietly get the dwarf's attention? This guy?
The closest one to you?
Yeah.
Yeah. You notice he's just like looking absolutely terrified. So give me an idea of what you're doing to quietly get his attention.
I'm trying to just like jerk my head in like a get over here kind of situation.
You notice he very timidly looks around, tries to look. He like narrows himself low to the ground as he possibly can and locks his eyes onto yours and gives you like a very scared looking shrug.
Coward. Can I like shuffle around just a little bit to like show him my bindings, see if he can, as long as the orcs are like looking away from us.
Give me a persuasion check as you attempt to, through your motions and your body language, try to convince him to become very brave and actually do this, as he looks absolutely terrified. You notice he actually gulps, and then you see he looks around and he starts to move incredibly quietly, or at least he tries to, as he begins to drag himself closer over towards you.
I thought he wasn't bound.
He is not. He is just absolutely terrified, so he's trying to move like on the ground as low as he can, almost like a worm trying to inch his way over to you so he's not spotted.
Gotcha.
He seems to manage to do so as he gets over into your area, kind of scooting past Finn here, and you see he looks down, and the lowest words he can possibly muster, he says, "Are you sure? I think this time they'll kill you." He seems to be looking for confirmation from you that you do indeed want to take this risk.
Fucking nod. Like really imperceptibly, but as if he actually does it, I want to keep my hands behind me so it looks like I'm still tied up. Is that something I can do?
Yeah, again, you're basically trying to pretend that you're still bound, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all right, so you see he starts working on them, but again, his fat fingers are moving very clumsily, so we'll see if he can manage to take these off. He is having quite a difficult time here, as you can just see sweat dripping down from his face, down into his chin, into this beard, and you can see his fingers just sliding all around as he, every second or two, he's looking back to make sure the orcs aren't looking his way. Is anybody else doing anything during this time? Alright, sounds like everybody else is remaining still and trying not to get caught or, still unconscious, unfortunately. So as a bit more time goes on, as you see Norbus is continually trying to work these binds, but doing so very slowly and not very adeptly whatsoever. Indeed, your realization becomes terror as you see the two orcs actually begin to prepare Bramble's body for cooking. You'll see Norbus will once again attempt to free Cat here. But once again, you can see he's having quite a difficult time doing this. He maybe gets part of this undone and starts pulling at a little bit of it, but again, he's just so slow at this as he's having such a difficult time. You get the impression of a person that's like right on the edge of having some kind of a heart attack.
Right, I'll shake my head and like try to get him to fuck off then.
All
You
right.
said he loosened it a little bit?
Maybe he undoes a coil or so, yep.
Okay, then
He will try to slide back as carefully as he can to not be spotted.
then I'll just quietly try to work on it myself behind me
All right.
while they're still looking the other direction.
Sure, yeah, go ahead and give me another sleight of hand check for yourself. This time you do make quite good progress here, as with that little bit of loosening of the rope, you're able to start letting some of these extra areas out. A little bit more flexibility in this as you keep bending your hands a bit. Perhaps a bit more flexible, or maybe even that transformation ability of yours, maybe a very minor aspect of this allows you to kind of adjust your body slightly, and after about a minute or so, you are able to shake free of these bindings.
I'll keep them behind me so that, yeah, I've still got them on, but I've got them off now, so I can move my hands and such.
Okay, fair enough. And yeah, you notice, I won't go into any gruesome details, but we'll just say that Bramble has met a very unfortunate end. So yeah, is there anything in particular you guys are doing during this time?
As long as they're still looking away, are they still looking away and
They
not
seem to
paying
be
us any
very
mind?
much invested in the fact of eating their food.
All right, I'm gonna start untying. I'm gonna shuffle a little bit to the side and start untying Finn.
Okay, yeah, give me another sleight of hand check as you attempt to do this, again, quietly as you can. You're starting to make a little bit of progress on this, but again, you're having to be very careful and quiet as you do this, and it's a bit challenging to do so. They both seem to be, again, pretty preoccupied, but eventually, maybe after 5 minutes or so, you are able to free Finn from his bindings as well. So the two of you are now free. It looks like during this time, the two orcs have finished their meal, and it looks as though they are kind of stretching out. You notice particularly the one on the east side of the fire here looks to be kind of trying to massage his muscles and kind of touch upon areas of himself that are quite wounded.
Ugh. Can I maybe try to like shuffle behind Kat and give her a little closer touch for Bryn? Bryn's out though, right? Are they all three? The rest of the three are out.
Bryn is unconscious.
Talhoun's,
Talhoun is not.
Okay.
So I can reach Talhoun from where I'm at, and I'll just whisper to Finn as what. So the orcs are just kind of chilling now.
They're kind of sitting across from the fire and having eaten. Imagine two people like really full and just letting their food digest. They're kind of patting their bellies. The one on the east is like pressing at his wounds and massaging his muscles, just like trying to unwind. You get the impression.
And they're still not looking at us.
They're glancing your way every now and again, but no, they're not like actually pinpoint watching you.
Okay, I'll just whisper to Finn, wait until they go to sleep.
And I nod.
As quietly as I can. And then as long as, when I see the opportunity, I'm not like doing it right in front of them, but as long as when they start looking away, I'll start working on Talhoun's bindings.
All right, so yeah, you attempt to do so and try to watch for, when they're not really paying attention here. I will ask for a stealth check at this point. I will give this to you at advantage as they're not particularly focused on you. And yeah, this doesn't draw their eye at all. Feel free to make a sleight of hand check as you try to untie Talhoun. Yeah, working on Talhoon's bindings, you're able to get his off as well. He is still gagged, and that would be pretty difficult to not fake, right? So you keep those on, I imagine. But yeah, you notice his hands, like his fists, start like making pumping gestures, trying to get that blood flowing again as his hands have been bound for this time. I would say it's about this time has passed now that Kurtu, you also rouse from unconsciousness, and your eyes just kind of flash open as you find yourself in this dark area here. There is some light coming from this fire that has been made, but there's this kind of awful odor in the air, or maybe it's a good odor, I don't know. But either way, there's definitely an odor of cooking meat in the air as you kind of scan this area and realize this terrible predicament that you are in.
Do I see him waking up?
Yeah, I would say you see him regain consciousness.
I'll just try to shush him as much as I can. Like, as quietly as I can, just...
Okay, fair enough. So, yeah, some time does begin to pass here as you guys just kind of try to see what is going to occur next. Maybe another hour passes by as you guys are just kind of, stuck here and having a difficult time doing much of anything. You do notice that the orc on the east side does look like he's kind of getting drowsy now. You can see his head kind of like doing one of those bobbing things every time, someone trying to fight sleep. And he's just kind of doing this over and over.
I want to try to undo one of my, my ties on my hands or something.
Okay, yeah, so go ahead and give me a sleight of hand check at disadvantage as you attempt to do this while you can't see your hands. You're just trying to wiggle through them. So remember, this would typically be a blind check, but I'll go ahead and take that. Yeah, you are unable to loosen these bindings.
No chance we're getting a short rest here, right?
Unfortunately not, no.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. You're not safe at this point to be able to rest. All right, so is it you guys are pretty much just waiting for some type of opportune moment to do something at this point? Should I just kind of pass time fairly quickly until something occurs?
Just gonna bide our time and wait, I think. Make sure... See if they fall asleep. Looks like the one is about to.
All right, you keep your eyes peeled, realizing that you yourselves are quite tired as well. Remember, you journeyed several hours on foot, took a quick rest outside, but then had a lot of battered and bruises. As a reminder, for getting knocked unconscious, everybody would have one level of exhaustion at this point. So you guys are feeling a little bit tired and worse for wear, and you start to wonder how long you guys will be able to keep your eyes open as well. But yes, after perhaps another hour or so, you do notice that the ogre on the east side of the fire does seem as though he has kind of passed out at this point. You can hear the sound of heavy breathing and then a bit of a snore. The one on the west side has more like nodding his eyes, but he seems a bit more stoic. You're not sure how soon he is going to fall asleep.
Adam, just any opportunity I have, depending on how the hours roll and everything, I'm going to try to break free.
Yeah, I'll start untying Kurtu if it looks like he's struggling with it.
Okay, yeah, so Kat, you notice him attempting to do this, so yeah, go ahead and give me a sleight of hand check as you attempt to free him. Yes, and with some assistance here, Kurtu, as you feel your bindings being sort of tugged on and undone, sure enough, Kat, you managed to free Kurtu as well.
Hey, Adam, where's our stuff? I'm going to look around and see if I can find our stuff.
If you're talking about weapons, you don't see them. Armor and all of your other belongings do seem to be on you at the moment.
Oh, so he just took my dagger. Okay.
Any obvious weapons, like swords, daggers, bows, anything that would be obvious to a casual observer, he would have taken as a weapon.
What are the dwarves doing?
The one that you can see clearly here, Norbus, is sitting here. He just looks absolutely terrified, and he's trying not to move, and he's trying to be as quiet as possible. You think you can see his mouth moving slightly. You almost get the impression of maybe somebody giving a silent prayer, perhaps. Dazzlin, his back is kind of turned to you, and he's focused to the southeast. You're not quite sure what he's doing.
Hey, Adam, so earlier you mentioned there's a gag in our mouths and things. If that's true and everything, is there a way that I can try to... Is it tied or is it just shoved in our mouth?
It would be tied.
All right, I'm gonna try to see if there's a way for me to untie it, but keeping it in my mouth.
Okay, sure, that's going to be possible, but go ahead and give me a stealth check as you try to remain undetected as you do this. So that'll be a blind check. Click on your token and click blind check.
Yeah, and I'm gonna obviously I'm gonna do it when I don't think he's looking at me.
Sure,
obviously,
yeah.
So.
Yeah, so you try to watch in between times where you see his eyes kind of, again, a little bit more heavy, the lids as they're kind of falling down, and you quietly undo this gag at the back of your mouth and sort of untie it, but it remains there, but no longer actively hampering your ability to speak. All right, you notice the one on the west side actually stands up at this point in time, steps over here and kicks this one awake and says something again to him in Orcish, and this one on the east side of the fire returns this like cry or this grunt type of thing. And you notice the big one starts making his way south.
So, with my hands undone, I don't know if this is anything, but with my mouth, I'm not going to say anything, but I'm just going to grab have a yellow acid from the jelly in a vial that we got from the jellies. And I'm just going to like kind of nudge it to Cat and shrug like as if I'm saying, I don't know, it might be useful. You're the sneaky one kind of thing.
To know where our weapons are first. Can you ask the dwarf?
I'm still gagged, so...
Yep, right
I'll
now everybody except Kurtu would be gagged, so any talking you guys are doing, I imagine it's that very difficult to understand, very slow, right? Like you have to almost enunciate every word to make sure you're heard.
Yeah, so I'm going to lose, because the guy's gone. This guy's half asleep, though, right? He kicked him, and then the guy went south probably to take a leak, so...
This guy does look to be awake now. He's not actively sleeping. He just got kicked, so he's actually like looking around. And you got sort of the impression like the first guy probably said, like you just said, I'm gonna go take a leak, and kicked him like stay alert kind of thing.
Ugh. Verbal components are talking level, right?
Yes, you cannot whisper
Yep.
a verbal component.
Well, I'm going to loosen my binds I'm going to wait. I'm not going to do it now.
All right, so just to clarify, is there anything anybody's doing during this time? All right, hearing not, then it will be about 10 minutes or so will pass before you will hear the sound of the...
Actually, Adam, I'm sorry. How about during that time, if I can try to...
Our human friend needs to be untied. I'd like to try to untie him.
Talhoun?
I untied him already.
Oh, Lance is already untied? Okay.
So yeah, Bryn needs to be untied. So can I try to sneak around and get Cat closer to... I'll nudge, get Bryn.
You can
Yeah.
certainly try, but you think that would make more noise.
Yeah,
than...
that guy is alert, so...
Alright, then you say no. You
I think we let her
sleep.
sleep. Yeah, I think we let her sleep for now, because she's still out, right? She just got knocked out again.
She did, yes. All right, so as you guys wait 10 minutes and take no real actions here, you do notice after those 10 minutes or so, this first orc returns, passing back through this area and stepping back by the fire. All right, so all of you guys that are currently conscious, go ahead and make Constitution saving throws. These can be public, so no need to blind check these. Just go ahead and roll con saves, and this is just representing the wear and tear in your body here and how much time it's going to take you before you fall asleep. All right, now we'll go ahead and make Talhoun's. Okay, so yes, I would say Finnegan and Kurtu, based on all the activity of the day, the marching, the fighting, the getting knocked unconscious, The toils of the day are really starting to wear on you. You're feeling quite a bit exhausted here. Your eyes are also in this sort of glassy state where you're really ready to actually have a long rest at this point in time. Actually put your head down and try to sleep. You get the impression that you're probably only going to be able to remain awake for a short more period of time. Hard to say exactly how long, but you're definitely in danger of nodding off. All right, so you guys wait another 10, 20, 30 minutes or so. In this time, you can see the guy on the east of the fire once again has begun to doze off and seemingly has fallen asleep here. As the guy on the west, his eyes again get to this heavy state, but he still seems to be at least somewhat alert. Another 10, 20...
Well, if the other guy is also falling asleep, can I try to undo Finn's gag? Is he still gagged, or did he untie himself? I forgot.
He is still gagged.
Okay, well, if he's not looking my way, I'm gonna try to get the gag untied, but leave it in his mouth if I can.
Yep, and there's no skill needed to untie this, but you're going to try to do it undetected, so go ahead and give me a blind stealth check. All right, yeah, he doesn't seem to be really focused in your direction. Seems to be quite tired at this point, so yes, indeed, you managed to work the gag off of Finn's mouth. Okay, so another 10 minutes pass by.
So what I'd like to... So this guy here is kind of awake right now, Adam.
The guy on the west of the fire, he looks tired, like his eyes are heavy, but he does seem to be alert. So like every now and again, you see his head on a swivel moving slowly, and he kind of blinks through tired eyes as he looks in your direction, then scans back to the east, then back to the south, then watches the fire for like 5 or 10 minutes, then repeats that process. The guy on the east side of the fire seems to have completely fallen asleep.
So what do I think my chances would be of me coming over here and casting a spell? I mean, obviously I know there's rolls involved, but I mean, would my guide think that he'd be able, based on the area, everything, be able to get over there and cast a spell?
It's certainly possible. It depends on how quiet you are. So just like you just said, based on the rolls.
Oh, then never mind. I'll just sell myself. I'll sell my body to the lowest bidder.
It's based on Bill's roll, so yeah, I don't know.
That's exactly it, right? Okay.
All right, so now it's 20 minutes or so pass by, and if there's something you guys are wanting to do, like I say, both Finn and Kurtu, it looks like you guys are really getting close and nodding off.
Yeah. Oh, we haven't yet. Okay, well, is there anything I can we untie Bryn? Bryn's the only one not bound by the hands, right? What about our feet? Can we get our feet done?
I'm assuming when you undid the hand bindings, the same, like they would be connected to the feet, so you can assume that your feet are undone if your hands are undone.
So I'm gonna nudge Kat and say, and look at Bryn, like kind of nod towards her.
Bryn's still like fully unconscious, right?
She is, yes.
If we're doing something, it's just us.
Okay, well you see Finn will like point at one of his bottles, and I'm trying to play an artificer with cure wounds with verbal and somatic, but I kind of want to use like potions as my build, so I don't know. I still need verbal and somatic, but I'm just kind of like point at a potion. It's like a red potion, and I'll nod towards you. I have this, and I'm just kind of indicating that it might help you. Can we whisper, you think, at this point?
If your gags are out, you certainly can. Again, depending on how much time or how much noise you make, you might be heard.
Adam, are the orcs considered prone or sitting, or how would they be considered?
Right now, they would both be considered prone, yes, because they're both. One of them would be unconscious, the one on the east side. The one on the west side is prone because he's actively sitting down. So if you're asking mechanically how this would work, if you guys right now said attack and just charge them, obviously we would roll initiative. and see what happens. So if they win initiative, then the unconscious one obviously is unconscious, so he wouldn't get an action in the first round. The other guy, again, he looks like he is at least aware, so he's looking around. You don't think it's going to be easy to surprise him. You would have to do something particularly clever to get a surprise on him.
Yeah, and I think the problem is it's verbal, right? You know, because I was thinking about, for an example, causing, you know, using, minor illusion or something like that.
I think minor illusion's just somatic, right?
Oh, actually, yeah, it is. Yeah.
So that just means you have to move your hand. So yeah, if you were trying to do something with minor illusion to like distract him, I mean, it's certainly possible. Again, how well you do is all going to depend on what you declare and then any associated rolls.
Yeah, and it's only 30 feet, so it's not like really far anyway.
Okay, so about another 10 minutes pass here, and for both Kurtu and Finn, I'm going to ask you guys to make con saves once again to see if you've managed to stay awake. These are just going to be DC 10. Alright, yeah, both of you sensing the urgency here. Fight this sleepiness and keep your eyes open. Bryn, go ahead and roll me a D4 and we'll see how many additional hours that you are knocked unconscious. Alright, so as far as time passing here, if there's something in particular you guys are waiting for, let me know. And again, we can try to advance time here a bit. But yeah, I'll just kind of go by half-hour increments at a time, and we'll see what occurs until you guys interrupt me.
All right, where Kurtu's gonna, knowing that he's fighting off the sleep, and I don't know if this is gonna be a good answer or not, but I want to stand here. And Adam, it's my first time with burning hands, for an example. I think it's, fans out.
It does, and the nice part is that one is built into our cast thing, so if you want to actually see exactly what it's going to look like, head over to your macro section. You're going to find one that says Cast Burning Hands. Just go ahead and click on the die roll next to that one, and then it'll put a little token right on the map for you. You can drag it around to see where you'll have to be in order to cast it. Keep in mind, again, you can't just cast a spell out of initiative order, so if you say like, hey, I'd like to move to here and cast, we'll roll initiative and go from there.
Right, where is it again, please?
Yeah, it's in the macro section, so it's that bulleted list icon in the top right corner. If you click that, you're going to see under the macros a bunch of different macros. One will say Cast Burning Hands. Just click on that little die icon just to the left of it.
But just as we were surprised and we missed the first round, do you think if he had a good stealth roll, they would see if they would miss their first round as well?
It depends on what the person that initiates the combat does. So from where you guys are at right now, he's, again, obviously knows that you're there. So if you just suddenly jump up and try to attack, it's unlikely that you would surprise him. But if you somehow snuck around somewhere else, then perhaps. The reason that the two of you guys in the group got surprised is that you were so far away from the center of action that you didn't know it was happening until it was too late. Were you able to find the Cast Burning Hands thing, Bill?
Well, I see that. I just don't see where it brings me to any...
Do you see the little die icon just left of the word Cast Burning Hands? So when you put your cursor on it, it's underlined. So if you click that die icon, it should give you... I think it'll give you a pop-up and say, like, what level do you want to cast this at?
No, I don't. I didn't get a...
no pop-up, no prompt?
Yeah.
Let me give it a shot real quick and see. I just reset the sandbox, too, just in case that was causing the problem. So, actually, you know what? I think you have to have your token selected first, right? So click on your token, make sure your token's selected, then click that die and see if that gives you the prompt.
Oh, I had the ruler, that's why.
Gotcha, okay. And then once you say level 1, it should give you a little targeting icon that you can actually move around on the screen, and it will show you exactly how it's going to go. Yep, so you can feel free to drag that around to move it where you'd like, and it's going to tell you pretty much the areas that you can hit, and obviously you will know where you have to be to hit that.
Yeah, I think it's just acting weird because do I have to move my character? Is that it?
Burning Hands is tied directly to you, so yes, it's only going to show you from you where it's going to hit. So yeah, feel free to move yourself around right now if you're just trying to get an idea of where you'll have to be to hit them. I'm understanding that you're not actually moving, you're just using this to understand where you have to be for your spell.
Yeah, and how do I turn it around?
If you click on it, I believe you should get a pop-up that says, what does it say?
CW or CC.
Yeah, CW is turned one way, CCW is turned the opposite way. And that'll be a token action, Bill. So when you click on the little trigger icon, it should pop up in those buttons in the top left, right next to the arrow cursor.
Okay, that's what I want to try to do.
Okay, so your intent then is to move there quietly and then just try to bounce up and cast the spell quickly?
I can stealth.
All right, so give me a stealth check, blind check. So keep yourself selected and click blind check. And essentially what you're trying to do here is move over here quietly, bounce up, and quickly cast this spell. So go ahead and roll that stealth, and we'll see how successful that is.
Do I have to remove the icon for the spell?
I don't think so, unless for some reason you can't get to your token. I think I can probably just set this to back if you have trouble.
Oh, there it goes. Okay.
Okay, so that actually rolled as the trigger icon, not yourself. But I got the roll either way, so no worries there. I'm just going to check your modifier.
Isn't it a 15-foot cone? That's weird.
It is, yeah. So it will come. So actually, it should come from you, right? So I think it'll be like that.
Right.
So if you're trying to hit everybody, you'd probably want to be. And it looks like you've got it just slightly ajar for some reason. I'm not sure why. If that was to do with one of the CWs or CCW thing.
I don't know. Yeah.
Should be able to hit them both from there, I think.
I would say from there you should be able to. Yeah. So I will count that as you can hit the guy. You can hit both of them from right there. So yeah, you stealth over there. It seems you're kind of dragging yourself on the ground as quietly as you can. You do indeed bounce up here really quickly, so I'm going to go ahead and roll initiative for everybody, and we'll see what happens.
And I'll be willing to give up mine, right, for his higher initiative, or we wait?
Well, unfortunately in this case, because you guys aren't sure really what's going on here, we're going to do this as normal roll. So as you're trying to get in position here, and you're kind of making your way over there, let me clear out anything that we don't actually need.
I think it worked perfectly for you guys.
Yeah. 3 and 2 for the orcs.
So
yeah, but Bryn's still bound and unconscious, right?
She is, yeah. So pretty much how this goes is you're bouncing in that area. I'm going to switch up to some combat music, because I have a feeling we're going to be in combat here.
Please roll high, Bill.
No freaking kidding, huh?
Okay, so as everybody's kind of moving around and waiting for anything to happen here, and you guys notice Kurtu moving, my assumption is you're allowing him to sort of kick this whole thing off. And yes, the initiatives worked pretty well there for you guys based on the orcs rolling kind of low. So once we get to Kurtu's turn, your spell is triggered. So go ahead and click on the word trigger all when you have that icon selected, Bill. And then that should roll damage on our targets. Alright, so as those flames leap out, striking into both of these guys.
You said they were prone, right?
They are prone, yes.
So they should have disadvantage on dexterity saving throws, is that right?
I think dodge gives you advantage. I don't know that prone gives you disadvantage.
Let me look this up, because this is pretty important.
Absolutely, yeah, we can double check that real quick.
Bramble failed.
Yeah, I see no dexterity disadvantage in prone condition.
Well, we missed the other orc.
I will apply. So do a spell effect real quick, Kurtu. Just keep yourself selected and click on spell effect roll, and we'll see if it hits him. Okay, that certainly does. So I'll apply the same amount of damage to him, and that is actually going to be enough to kill him as the fires burn him through. All right, so as he's burnt to the ground, the first guy is injured. And yes, after he is burnt very badly, that will be your action. You would have stood up from prone, spending half your movement. Anything else you'd like to do, Kurtu?
I'm going to, let's see, that's 2. I have 5 more feet of movement, right?
I think you got 10 left. 5 or 10, I can't remember where you started.
Yeah, I started right here.
Then 5.
So, yeah.
I'm going to hide between the dwarfs.
All right, so you kind of hang out there and, all right, step back and see what happens, all right?
That'll end my turn. Go get him, dwarfs.
All right, you end your turn. So this guy is out of initiative. This one is obviously awoken by these bursting flames, and you see he stands up quickly, great axe in hand, as he, seeing that you obviously scorched him and then stepped back, he's going to hop over this little outline of the foundation here, and he is going to strike out at you here, Kurtu. So I will need a defensive roll from you.
Big money, big money, big money.
Unfortunately, this is going to connect, and with only 1 HP, you are very badly in danger territory. Let's see what happens.
He's gonna roll low, it's fine.
9 points of damage, so not enough to kill you outright, but you are knocked unconscious once again. You hear the orc roar suddenly as he looks around, and you get the impression he now realizes that some of you are not obviously bound.
That's fine.
As we move to the top, Norbus here is going to step down to here, and then he will give the help action for anybody that strikes this orc to get advantage. And we move to Cat.
Okay, I'm gonna use my last shifting feature. I get 2 per long rest, so I'm back to 40 movement. So I'm gonna stand up. That takes 20, 5, 10, 15. Do I see any weapons I can take off this guy that died? Does he have like a javelin or anything that I can grab?
He does have a javelin, yep, and a great axe. And then you're also going to notice, now that you're kind of in this area here, right here, lying flat, looks to be a large bag that you can see several different weapons sticking out of.
I'm committed to picking up the javelin from this dude.
You interact with object and swipe the javelin.
Alright, so javelins are simple weapons, right? So I'm proficient?
I believe so, yeah. I can't imagine they're martial.
Alright, so Kurtu went down. I have 5 more feet of movement, so I'm going to move here. So I'm in a flank with Talhun. So I'm going to swing out at this guy with the javelin in melee.
All right, and that's advantage because of Norbs' help, and +2 for flank.
Yep. I don't have...
You could just drag javelin right to your sheet real quick from the SRD, and it should populate for you.
What's the SRD?
That little icon
item.
in the top
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Oh my god. Javelin. Didn't work.
Here, I can add it for you real quick. Give me 2 seconds.
Sure.
Okay, should have just popped up at the bottom there.
Oh my god, why does it keep doing this? There we go. Wow, okay.
All right, yeah, so I'll set you back to public rolling there, but as you pierce out, unfortunately, even with advantage and with the flank, unable to connect. All right, Bryn, unfortunately, is still unconscious.
Can she roll to try and become conscious?
No, when you're unconscious like that, you're unconscious for a number of hours equal to that D4 roll, and I believe you rolled a 2, so you're unconscious for a long time. I'm only leaving you in the initiative in case somebody should happen to cast like Cure on you, and that brings you back up, and then you'll get right in where your spot is. Dazzlin here is going to do the same thing Norbus did, and he will try to distract the orc to give advantage to the next attacker. All right, Talhun is he's taking a cue from Cat, so he'll stand up, move 5-10 feet. He'll interact with object to grab the great axe off the fallen orc, and then he will chop out at the orc here, so he'll have advantage with a great axe. And because he has advantage, I think he will actually try his great weapon master thing here, trying to take the guy out in one strike.
Do it! You got this, Victor!
Of course, then right when I say that, his sheet locks up, so 1 second.
I think this is his hero moment. I think he would spend his hit die as well.
Actually, he doesn't have one, because remember he did the special
Oh,
feat.
that's right, because Great Weapon Master.
Okay, I'm going to have to do a quick refresh, guys. Actually, you know what? I know this is going to be a odd timing, but because the sheet is locked up, I'm just going to roll this as a normal D20, and we'll see how this goes. So I'll add all his factors in. Yeah, so that's certainly going to connect. So that's Great Weapon Master, even with the penalty, with advantage. With his modifiers normally, that's definitely going to connect. Okay, so then I will roll damage for him.
10.
Yeah, alright, so he hits that plus Great Weapon Master, and that is going to be enough, as with this Great Axe Chop, he brings down the mighty orc.
He wasn't so tough.
Only
fucked us all up.
Alright, so odd timing here, guys, but let's go ahead and take our break here. That'll give me a chance to refresh things, and you guys can recap the stuff that just occurred and reflect on it, and we will pick up on the other side and see how things go.
My fucking god, boys.
Oh
Good
my
job,
God.
everyone.
Yeah.
Great job, y'all.
Good
Good
job.
job. Good job. Good job.
Alright, see you guys at 15. Alright, welcome back, everybody. We are back from our break. The group has just managed to survive, mostly, this encounter with all of these orcs, defeating the last 2 orcs who were sort of watching over a guard of them, and perhaps maybe the impression you guys would have gotten so far is it seemed as though they were probably trying to prep you to be sold into slavery based on what some of the words you guys overheard. But obviously that is not going to be your fate now, as you've managed to defeat these 2 remaining orcs. Unfortunately, Bramble did perish in that initial battle, and his remains have been cooked on the Spitfire. You guys managed to kill these 2 orcs, and that is right where we pick up, as you guys find yourself back in this area here with all of you guys here. However, some of you are unfortunately down, so doing a quick status check. Bryn is currently down and wounded, but not at risk of death, just unconscious. Kurtu was knocked out, but I imagine you guys quickly stabilized him, so he is also unconscious, not at risk of death. The rest of you have 1 HP, I believe. So yeah, that is where we'll pick up.
That's all we need. First thing I'm going to do is, we said our stuff was over here.
Yes, you see that there is a bag over there, and as you approach it, Kat, it certainly does seem to be each of your weapons.
Alright, I will start distributing our stuff back to their respective owners.
That's my dagger. That one. Thank you.
All right, and you notice Dazzlin, and Dazzlin looks towards you guys and says, "Oh my god, I thought for sure that I was going to go much faster than it really did. Oh, I can't believe we survived."
Oh, you only survived because of us.
Well, yes, of course, but I think that they were trying to like sell you into slavery. I'm sure that's what happened to us as too. Terrible, terrible fate.
So, first off, I'd like to say, you're welcome. And I look at him with a little gnomish mean face. You're welcome is nice to hear a thank you every now and then.
You see, he kind of looks at you strangely and he says, What are you talking about? They attacked while you were here too. Maybe they followed you here."
I'm going to search this orc's body and ignore him.
What is done is done. Were you 2 camping around here?
You're asking that of Dazzlin?
I'm asking that of the dwarves, yeah.
Yeah, Dazzlin says, well, we had our bedrolls back that way. As you search this area, Finnegan, you can find the stated equipment. So each orc would have had a great axe and, say, 3 javelins. So you can feel free to take as many of those as you like. Also, as far as coinage goes, as you just do a quick check of all of the different bodies, you're able to find a total of 10 silver pieces.
I'll take that. For the party, of course.
You notice Norbus actually steps over here and says, "Oh no, is this one down and out also?"
I guess we wouldn't know, right? So I'll walk up and, like, check on her, see if she's okay.
Yeah,
And I'll do the same for... I
yeah,
guess we...
Okay. Yeah, give me a blind check real quick. I'll just take this as medicine as you do a quick check over both Bryn and Kurtu.
Well, we said we stabilized Kurtu, so we're reasonably sure he's fine.
Yep, yeah. So I would say you get the impression that neither of them are at their risk of death, but you have no idea how long they're going to be out.
He's still breathing, but we're in no shape to move them in these conditions. We have no choice but to hole up here and hope that it's enough. Hope these orcs don't have any friends on their way.
I can't believe they did that. I mean, why would they do that to Bramble? It doesn't make any sense. I mean, who eats rabbit without spices? I mean, there's no allspice, there's no garlic in here. Sorry, Dylan.
No, it's funny, man. That's good. I made a rabbit, okay? I get it.
Surprisingly morbid from you, but we all deal with these things in our own way, I suppose.
So I'm gonna try to clear the fire off if I can of any of that stuff.
Sure, yeah. So you shift the remains off and kick it off to the side, and yeah, there is a small fire here.
We should bury what's left of him as a sign of respect. I'm sure the dwarves have tools we could use for that.
So what did Bramble have that might have been in that pile or from his body? Or I'm sure they didn't cook his clothes and his backpack and stuff, right?
No, it looks like they mostly took his stuff off and were focused on his body here. I'm assuming he had mostly just basic equipment. Is there something particular you're looking for?
Well, whatever he has on him, I'll make sure I try to recuperate as much as I can.
Okay, yeah, so he's got a rope, water skin, 10 rations, 10 torches, a tinderbox, a mess kit, a bedroll, a pouch, 10 darts, a quarterstaff, an explorer's pack, a set of manacles, a horn, and a uniform.
I'll take the pouch. Is there any vials or anything?
Not that I see.
And any gold or a coinage?
9 gold pieces.
I'll take that too.
You notice both, or I should say, Dazzlin watching you with the sort of like distasteful look on his face as he sees you stripping down your ally for parts.
Well, we're not going to bury them with it. You'd have it next.
I'll look at him and say, "Waste not."
And you notice he just kind of shrugs in your direction, Cat. I suppose you guys will be wanting to get out of here then.
Oh, we're in no condition to travel. We're staying in this complex.
Well,
I wonder if those doors close.
I was just thinking the same thing. Yeah, maybe we try to close that door, at least a little bit safer, and post a guard there.
Okay, I'll try to put out the fire at him.
Yeah, it's not too difficult to do so. You split some of this area here, the wood apart, and just kind of stomp down some of the remaining coals, and it takes you a couple of minutes, but yeah, it is out.
Inside then. Don't forget Bryn.
What about her? She seems to be sleeping peacefully at the moment.
Are we going inside? Inside of
which door are we talking about? Are we talking about this door or the other one?
Dazzlin seemed to be talking about the one you just indicated here, Kat.
Oh, okay, cool. Sorry, I thought we were talking about in the temple. I didn't realize the door was there.
Alright, we post a watch. This doesn't happen again.
Alright, so safe to say someone's going to head down and try to close that door then, correct?
Let's all go together in case we run into another warband just outside.
Okay.
Alright, so in the essence of time, I'll assume you guys have headed down this way, closed the door itself, and yeah, it is an old door. It doesn't look like it would stand up against any kind of serious damage, like a battering ram or anything like that, but just someone pounding on it you don't think is going to break through.
Anything we can see in here that we might use to barricade it, or is it pretty sparse in here?
There's quite a bit of rubble. I mean, if you wanted to take the time to slide these chunks of rubble over, it would help maybe some.
Let's do what we can. We're
I'll
waiting
help
for
ya.
them to wake up anyway, so.
All right, Kurtu, go ahead and roll me a d4 to see how long you'll be out. And yeah, you guys spend some significant time here collecting this rubble and starting to shift it towards the door, realizing that when you get ready to leave, you're going to have to clean this all out, but perhaps feeling a bit safer as you start moving all of this stuff over. So after about another hour, a little bit more than an hour, Bryn, you suddenly once again awaken. I don't know if anybody's actually gotten your bindings off yet, so
We certainly would have.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah.
So we will assume that you guys decided to do that and have taken those bindings off. And so, Bryn, you are conscious. Again, very sore. Both you and Kurtu would be rolling with 2 levels of exhaustion at the moment. So, again, feeling very much worse for wear. Finn, that tiredness is really creeping up on you. You're wondering how much longer you're really going to be able to make it.
I will
Guys.
take the first watch.
Okay.
Those of you who are hurting should probably rest while you can. And let's go further in as well. We may be able to hear the door. Suffering anything if anyone else comes by, long before it becomes a problem for us, as long as we move further in.
Yeah, they have a campsite over here.
Yeah, so I don't know if I have the strength to do so, but if I do, I'll carry Kurtu's unconscious body with us while we...
I don't imagine he's too heavy, so as long as you're taking your time and being careful, I think you probably can.
I would. Maybe not for Talhun, but...
And if you come over here, you'll see Finn going through these orcs' pockets.
Yep, and yeah, I included them in the coinage,
Okay.
and again, they would have axes and javelins as well.
Cool.
So yeah, actually, at this point, Talhun will remember that he retained 1 lay on hands point, and he will use that on Kurtu just so he doesn't have to wait too long to be awake. So yes, he will touch on Kurtu and give him 1 HP, and you are conscious, Kurtu, but you are also 2 levels of exhaustion.
Oh my gosh, it looks like we beat up the orcs. I'm sure that, who finished them off?
You'd be surprised.
Talhun
I
is
would.
beaming with this really cocky look on his face, and somehow air is brushing his hair back to give him that perfect status-esque heroic pose.
I was
Oh.
about to pat him on the shoulder, but seeing him do that, I'm not going to.
Lance,
I'll just
you
look
done
away and roll my
good.
eyes. It was my idea, though.
Somebody had to have the idea. I'm sure the fire helped.
It did.
So are we going to rest here for a long time?
We have little choice. I don't think any of us can travel in the condition that we're in right now.
I think Finn might actually be sleeping.
Also, we just barricaded the door and it would take us an hour to dig out, so we've kind of committed at this point, I think.
Okay, so is it you guys' intention to just go straight for a long rest at this point, right? And try to sleep through the night into the morning?
Yes.
I don't know if it counts as a long rest because we're out in the wilderness, right? Per our rules, but yeah, we'll sleep for 8 hours.
Right, yep,
Just
that is true, right? You won't get an actual long rest mechanically speaking, but that's your intent, is to try to sleep through into the morning.
And does this count as like I know it's not technically a short rest, but do we get our HP back?
Yeah, yep. Again, you could take a short rest for an hour, get your HP back, and then lay down to sleep for actually the longer, long rest as far as having to sleep part.
Probably really smart. Let's do that, guys.
Right,
Yep,
so
yep.
again, it's just that one oddity. I don't think it's going to matter to you here, but technically you're only allowed 2 short rests per day per our house rule. So if for some reason you guys were going to be like, hey, take a short rest now, and then something happened, you wouldn't be able to take another one today. You'd have to wait until tomorrow. But like I say, right now I don't think that's going to be much of an issue for you guys. So yeah, you guys all buckle down for a short rest. So I will apply a short rest, but again, due to the house rule, I'll just ask that each of you guys go in and set your HP to max.
That worked. There we go.
I'm sorry, I was reading something, Adam, while you were talking. We were setting our max MP to max?
Set your HP to max. Yes, a short rest has gone through. So anything that comes back for a short rest, I've just granted that through the API. But your HP, you'll have to set that manually due to the house rule. All right, so after the short rest, you guys are fully restored. Again, think of this mostly as you've regained your stamina, your focus. You probably still have some wounds on your body, particularly from getting hit so many times. And those of you that were knocked unconscious can go ahead and take a con save here to try to take back one of your levels of exhaustion. It's just a DC 10, so if you roll 10 or higher, you can reduce your exhaustion level by 1.
It's a con check.
Constitution save.
It's con save.
Okay, so yeah, you guys plan to stay here overnight and wake up in the morning and see what is what, so to speak. This time goes by fairly slowly as there's this awful odor from these dead bodies nearby you and just the smell of sort of sweat and this battle being so close by, this danger that you're in, being bound, your own body odor. It's not a very pleasant area to rest and relax, but you make the best of it as you can, and there seems to be no commotion, no bumps in the night, nothing along those lines as you guys make it into the morning. At least what seems to be morning. It's obviously all dark in here because you're inside this structure. But yeah, as you wake up, you feel somewhat refreshed. You're still, again, a little bit weary of all of the chaos that's happened, but you are restored in your HP, of course, and then also your ability to keep moving on, no longer feeling tired.
I'm going to... So as part of my short rest, I can make food as my chef feat. So... you can prepare enough food number equal to your 4 plus, so 6. And at the end of the short rest, any creature eats the food, I'm going to hand out this food, gets an extra 1d8 hit points. So I think that's 10 points.
Yep, yeah. So go ahead and post that feed again. Is there any limitations on how often you can do that?
I'll show you now. It just talks about ingredients and cook's utensils in hand. And for the ingredients, I'm going to use the rations. And my spices.
We do have fresh rabbit if you need it.
I don't think we have that much fresh.
No, I'm definitely not going to do that.
Too soon.
We have fresh orc.
Okay, yeah, no, that makes sense. So yeah, so anybody that is eating some of this food as part of the short rest. So as a reminder, again, we're still learning new characters and all that stuff, so no worries for now, but once the short rest was applied, that's when you want to declare you're doing this, just in case, your rest would have gotten interrupted or something like that. Had you not declared it and the rest got interrupted, I wouldn't let you suddenly say you had done it. But since nothing happened, no worries at all. So anybody that eats one of these treats, and I think you have enough for everybody, right? So yep. Everybody can roll a d8 and add that much temp HP.
That nearly doubles my hit points. Wow.
Isn't this good? I can make rations and I put these spices in there and I do a little bit of waving with my hand. Everyone, things are going to get better. Today is going to be a good day. I can feel it.
All right, and during this time, I would say you've probably noticed both Dazzlin and Norbus make their way more towards that central area. They're, obviously trying to shake off everything that occurred, but also particularly interested in what might be inside here. And kind of once the danger, this threat is over and they've got a bit of time and rest on their side, they seem to take up their old work habit here and just head right on into the temple and start looking around.
I'm a little surprised at their resilience. I would have expected that encounter to make them more amenable to returning to Phandalin with us, but we did our job.
Well, do you think I could... I'm such a curious little guy, and what if I fix this guy's face? What do you think would happen? The statue here, do you see his face? I have stuff here, and I could use some magic and try to fix it.
I imagine the sculptor would be posthumously proud of you.
We're not doing anything better. Why don't you try it?
Okay, all right. Can someone give me a boost? I mean, it's a dwarf statue. It's probably okay. And you see him. He'll pick like he has this thing that he made. It's called a far grabber. You know those little. If you were like in a wheelchair or whatever, you could reach up into cupboards and grab stuff from the cupboard. So he has one of those. He calls it a far grabber. So he's using that to reach things really high, and he's going to cast mending on that statue here.
All right, go ahead and post menu. I believe that's a minute cast. All right, yeah, you try to mend this statue, trying to focus on a single break or tear in this statue, but unfortunately, it looks like the damage to the statue broke it into many pieces, so mending unfortunately does not do anything to repair the statue.
You think I got his nose right? Doesn't look right. I'll step back and take a look.
Yeah, so mending really is for like cloth or, metal that's like sheared right in half. Like you could certainly mend it together, that kind of thing. But this, it looks like, again, based on your previous check, you're not really sure, but on just like a glance, the impression you might have is something strong hit it like right in the face area and like fractured the actual stone, and then it crumbled into pieces down below. So unfortunately, this is not something mending would be able to do anything for.
Well, Finn is going to be a little fixated at this, though, and that he'll spend his time, trying to gather little nose pieces and eye pieces on the ground, and it's like, why didn't it work?
All right, so as Finn is focused on the statue here, is there anything anybody else is doing?
Sounds like the dwarves found something of interest in there. Do we want to check that out, or do we not care? Are we ready to go back to town?
Yeah, where did they go?
Further inside, I imagine.
Well, I'm curious. Hey, what are you guys doing in here?
You hear you hear Dazzlin call back. Well, we're returning to work. You cleared it out, so now that the danger's gone, we keep looking for things.
Don't you need to sign our note or something?
Oh, yes. If you've got that piece of parchment, yes, I can sign it now. As he approaches Cat, you can hear the sound of something clinking together in his pockets as he makes his way over to you.
Interesting.
Make sure we get the stones he promised us, too.
Yes, sure, right. Norbus! And you see Norbus kind of reaches in and pulls out this flat-looking stone and hands it over to Dazzlin, and Dazzlin takes one out of his pocket, and yeah, he will hand these both over to you guys. So I think they put all the stuff in cards, which was kind of interesting to me. I'm not sure why they went with this strategy, but let me find that card and I'll give it to you guys. I don't know if I can give this to everybody or if I have to give it to a particular person.
What's it, of the sending stone?
Yes.
Would it be easier if we just added it from the compendium?
It would certainly, yes, as far as functionality goes. So this is considered a sending stone. Yep, so you can look that up in the compendium. He's told you what it does. Yeah, so there's two of them. So basically one of them can be used to talk to the person holding the other one. So you guys can decide which of the two of you will take a sending stone.
Is it something we have to attune to, or can we just pass them around as needed?
I don't believe it requires attunement according to this card. Let me double check.
Not that Cat would know anything about that.
No, yeah, that's a fair out-of-character question.
Yeah.
Does not require attunement. So it's you can use the sending spell. I think it's probably just once per day. Yeah, once per day. So once per dawn.
Then I guess I will hold on to one of them for now, and someone else can take the second one.
Well, Bryn's right there.
Oh, no. Sure. Bryn can have the second one. Unless anyone else wants it.
I'm coming to see what they found.
Yeah, I'm real curious. What'd you guys find? Did you find anything different?
Why, yes, there was a little secret area over in this pillar here with a stone coffer inside. Quite interesting. But where's your piece of paper? I shall sign it and you can be on your way.
One of us must have paper, right?
I assume parchment's usually included in some of the packs, like Scholar Pack, perhaps?
Well, actually, didn't Bramble have the... Oh, you have the... Hey, Cat, don't you have the notices from the bulletin? Just flip it on the other side. He could sign that side.
Sure. Yeah, I'll give him the backside of the mission that we took to get here.
All right, the job posting. Yeah, you'll see he will just kind of step up here, hold it up against this pillar, and he does open his jacket, and you can see inside there's like a quill, a little ink well. There's different things like that. He dips it in real quick and just scribbles his name on, and Norbus, sign this real quick. And you see Norbus kind of slowly, gingerly steps over and signs it as well, and then
Imagine I would have them write like, "We got the message, but we're staying here," or whatever it is, because I think the mission was, I forget the mission, but I think it was tell them to come back to Phandalin or something. No, I guess it's just take the warning to them.
They write that they are very much aware of the threat of the dragon, but the tantalizing information to be captured in this new structure is too much for them to avoid, and they will return once they are done here.
Hey, Adam. Just since they're over there doing that, I'm going to come over here and look at this broken pillar over here, see if I find anything.
Sure, yeah. So you spend a bit of time investigating this broken pillar. Go ahead and click on your token and send me a blind check. It is broken. There's nothing inside of it here. It looks again like maybe something with a lot of force struck it. Hard to say exactly. And damaged it. And there's rubble on the ground, obviously from the damage, but there doesn't seem to be anything hidden or anything out of the ordinary.
Hey, Jaslyn, you didn't run for your life. We had 6 orcs almost kill us, and you didn't flee. But you were afraid to go after these jellies. Just something in here is so important to you guys. What's really going on?
Have you ever tried to run from orcs before?
Yes.
Did you get away?
No, but you had ample opportunity. I know, because I could see you guys could have easily fled, but you stayed there. Why?
I think you're wrong. There's very few opportunities we had to move past where they couldn't easily hit us. And the way that one growled at Norbus, I don't speak all Orcish, but I know enough to basically know what he just said there was, move and you die. So we were hoping that, they would take pity on us, seeing that we were non-combatants and all.
Can I insight that?
Sure, yeah, go ahead and click on your token and give me an insight check. Hard to tell. Yeah, he's kind of got this scraggly old beard on his face as he's looking towards you, and you don't detect any overt, falsehoods here.
I don't know. I think if you're desperate enough, you'd run for it. There's something else going on.
We cannot outrun orcs. Those things, when they want to catch you, they are very, very fast.
Well, just remember, they had friends. Those friends may come looking for them.
What friends?
There were more orcs, weren't there?
What? What are you talking about?
I don't remember how many orcs died. I mean, were those the only 2 survivors, or I thought there was more that were...
There were 6, and we killed 4, and 2 kept us.
Oh, okay. All right, cool.
Well, fine. Well, good luck to you. And, hope you don't die.
Same to you. Thanks for all the help. Best of luck, and if everything goes well, we'll see you back in Phandalin.
Just remember, when we're there, you guys owe us some free drinks too. Bye.
And you see he looks for you and says, "What? We just wrote your little thing and gave you our magic stones. That's ample payment."
That's nice. Don't forget the drinks. I know how you dwarfs are. Goodbye.
And you see he kind of shakes his head. "Norbus, can you believe these people?" All right, so what is it you guys' intention to do? Is it to head out from this area, unblock that doorway, and make your way back outside?
We bury our friend first. What's left of him.
All right, so you're going to try to grab the remnants of Bramble, make your way outside, and try to find a suitable place to bury him?
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right, so for ease of time here, I'll just say stop moving your tokens, and I'll just drag you guys down to the other side. We will assume that you guys have spent a bit of time here clearing the rubble away, probably another hour or so, based on how much you guys had put in there to stop anything from coming in. And you spend some of that time, and during that time you can hear some chatter from the east, but it all sounds like inquisitive, surprised, or happiness. Nothing that sounds to be, danger or alerts of any kind of warnings or anything bad happening. So nothing that really draws your attention. As you guys make your way then out from this area with Bramble's remnants in hand, you find yourself back out on the plains. All right, is there anywhere in particular that you're looking for to bury your friend?
Do I recall that there is a place in Fandalen?
As far as a cemetery?
Yeah, I thought there was a place.
I'm sure that they have something in Fandalen to bury fallen folks.
What do you guys think about that?
For a lot.
He's not from there, and that's a long time to be dragging his remains.
There's just this rabbit foot and the leg, really, that's left.
Are there 4 of them? Maybe it'll help us roll better.
Hey, Adam, I'm going to try to attune to Bramble's rabbit foot.
Now we're getting real morbid.
Christ, guys. I think we just, bury him near the expedition site. Just, somewhere slightly off the road where the earth is receptive to digging up.
Dig.
Fair enough. All right, so we'll say you guys... Does anybody have a shovel or otherwise have some kind of digging implement?
I feel like we could borrow some from the dwarves. They're not using them all, right?
Yeah, they probably have shovels, I would say. So yeah, if you ask them, they would say that you can do so.
Sure, let's do that.
All right.
Would anyone like to say a few words for our dearly departed?
Yeah. Well, Bryn, I mean, he was our companion for a while.
I did not want to say any words. If you want to say words, which I would highly doubt if you didn't, that's fine.
Oh, okay. I'll say a few words. Here lies dearest Bramble, whose foot and fist could put you in a shamble. And he fought hard for all of us to live. May he go back to the Feywild and thrive.
Oh, I was so close to giving you inspiration, but that last line did not rhyme, so I can't do it.
Yeah, it was close, wasn't it? I was like, I'm doing it. Nope.
I was like, oh, that was so good on that first line, but the second,
Not too bad for ad-lib, though.
All right, so yes, you guys find a place. You spend a bit of time here digging. Probably takes you a couple hours breaking earth using shovels to dig a decent-sized grave here. Place your friend in, and then Finn says these words over top him as you guys then spend a bit of time interring him into the earth, piling dirt on top. So altogether, you've probably spent maybe 3 hours or so, taking turns at this, and find yourself returning the tools back to the dwarves, I assume, and then you're going to start making your way back to Fandalen?
Yep, I don't intend on stealing
Anyone want
the
to keep the shovel?
No.
No, that's fine.
Cat, you're a character.
All right, so I will assume you guys then start making your way back towards Fandalen. So you guys would have woken up, morning, spent this time, so it's probably noon-ish about this time when you guys start making your way back to Fandalen. The walk back is probably one of a bit of sorrow as you realize you came this way with your friend Bramble and no longer have him with you, and you start to wonder, was this really worth it? Hard to say. You accomplished your task, but oof, what a cost to do so. But you spend a 6.5 hours or so making your way back to Phandalin, and then you do eventually arrive inside. So the sun is still in the sky, but it is evening, so it's kind of lower. You can see it's getting closer to nighttime as you arrive in Phandalin proper.
Suppose the town master is still awake. We could go get our reward, such as it is.
So, Adam, on our walk back, can I do a foraging check as I'm looking for like wild mushrooms and maybe some onions and stuff like that? Garlic?
If
or
you're willing to
just
spend
herbs?
some time as opposed to just like heading straight back, then sure, yeah, you could definitely do that.
Well, how much? Like an hour or like 20 minutes or something?
Probably like an hour, right? Because you spend a little bit of time at this part of your trip, and then you would travel a little bit farther, see what the terrain changes, look again, that sort of thing.
Okay. No, I won't. Thank you.
All right, fair enough. So you still get back then right at about evening time. So you can think it's, right around 6 o'clock or so as you make your way back into Phandalin and find yourself there on the trail leading back into town.
Yes, we should at least get our money that Bramble expired for, and do the best we can to get over it.
Yes, let's go to the town master. Let him know our losses, that he owes us.
All right, so I guess we're heading to the town master's hall.
All right, you make your way back to the town master's hall and head up to the door, I presume knocking upon it, where once again you'll see just that little slot opens after 30 seconds or so. These eyes peek out of it suddenly. Whoa, what do you want?
Mission accomplished. The dwarves at the excavation site have been warned of the imminent dragon threat.
Oh, good,
And
good.
I'll slide the
It looks like he's not even worried about proof as you're starting to slide it through, and then he sees it and he just takes it from you. And, oh, yeah, okay. And then you hear the sound of jingling coins as he holds a pouch and like fits it through this narrow slot and has to like poke it kind of hard to get it through the little area where eventually it does pop out to the other side.
All right, I will distribute, I guess, 10 gold pieces to each of us because there's 5 of us, right?
There are indeed, yes.
So everyone can take 10 gold.
All right, I will add 10 to Talhoun. All right, I presume with this task complete, perhaps you guys might want to head back to the Stonehill Inn and get it some food and some drink, that sort of thing.
Fucking wasted, Adam. That's what I'm doing. Straight to the bar.
All right, fair enough. So as you make your way back over the Stonehill Inn, I'll just throw your icon over here to represent that you're actually in the inn. You make your way over there, opening the door, and find that the place is pretty much how you left it. It's fairly calm in here, and you can see this similar kind of folks are around that you're accustomed to seeing here in the Stonehill Inn. You notice in particular the proprietor behind the counter, as you usually see him when you've spent a bit of time here. But perhaps, maybe most notably, is an interesting character that kind of sticks out, who's sitting in one corner of the Stonehill Inn. And Dylan, why don't you go ahead and describe what your new character looks like?
All right, everybody. So sticking with the animal theme, you guys will see a quick roll, Parker. You see a vibrant green tortoise-looking humanoid. His shell is quite large and covers the majority of his back. It's covered in this thick greenish moss that kind of spreads along the cracks and crevices. Along these little patches of moss, you can see these vibrant little green and yellow mushrooms growing, and he has on his waist, there's a larger mushroom cap. It's easily noticeable. It's probably like 2 feet in diameter, thick and leathery, and it's obvious some sort of mushroom. And he has a twisted, gnarled staff that he also carries and kind of leans his weight on. and right now it's perched against the wall behind him, and he's kind of in between nodding off and waking up really quickly and scanning the surroundings and then nodding back off again.
All right, group. So you make your way back into the inn. Notice this interesting character that was just described to you. What would you guys like to do?
It's just funny.
So Finn's gonna look and go, "Oh my god!" I'm gonna go up to Toblin, who's this gentleman here, and say, "Hey, what's up? What's the news?"
You see he turns his eyes and looks down towards you and says, "Oh, it's you. Welcome back. The news. Well, there's always lots of things happening around this place. I'm kidding, of course. This place doesn't have much activity, though I suppose... Yes, let's see. What was the latest thing that I heard? Have you heard about the orcs? Once again, the orcs have come down from the mountains to prey on the lowlands. I think you probably already heard this one, because I rolled that same one last time, if I remember correctly."
Oh, Toblin, you already said that. I'm gonna pop him on his elbow. It's as far as I can reach, probably. You're such a kidder. But more importantly, can we get 5 plates of food, number 3 on the menu, and 5 ales, please?
5 plates of food. I'll see what I can do.
And 5 ales, and I'm paying. I don't care what they say, I'm paying.
Okay, just a moment. I will put that order in for you. You see he kind of scans in that direction and says, "Oh, yes, that one. Let's see. How long has he been here? Not too long, if I remember correctly. He seems pleasant and amiable fellow. You could go say hi to him, I suppose."
Well, that would be an example of what's new in town. He'll give a smile and a wink.
And you see he kind of turns and looks towards you and says, "Well, with all these people coming and going as of late, it's hard to keep track of who's new and who's not."
All right, and I'll flip him a silver piece as like a tip, and I'll say, "We'll be sitting over there."
And he nods as he notices you indicate that direction. All right, so you guys, I assume, are all going to hit like an area here and sort of relax together?
Yes.
All right, fair enough. So, yeah, so as you asked for number 3, just going off my random food generator here, that is going to be boiled eggs and soft cheese with tankards of Perry. And how much did you pay for this? Did you already pay in advance, Finn, or did you not?
I did not. I said, "I'm going to pay for it. Don't let them pay," and I just gave him a silver piece as a tip.
Okay, so he will have 5 plates of this food brought out to you. So I imagine Kurtu's particularly happy. These are boiled eggs, not raw eggs. I think he was eating raw eggs before. But yeah, boiled eggs and soft cheese with these tankards of Perry. He doesn't look to collect any more money from you. You assume your silver piece was enough to cover these 5 meals.
Well, shoot. I'll give him another, when he delivers it, if he does, I'll give him another silver piece.
He does, and you see as you hand him this extra silver piece, he just you get the impression of almost like a very astute businessman. He takes your silver piece and, "Well, I thank you." And you see he nods, doesn't seem overly shocked of the tip, just hoping to provide good service. And with this, you see he takes this cloth and kind of just puts it over his shoulder, heads back to the counter, and you can notice that there is a waitress that is serving some other folks as well.
Kurtu, I got the number 3. It's for you. Just try it. These are boiled this time.
I've had the boiled. I mean, it's fine.
So all of them are at a table together, right?
Yes.
Okay. Seeing them all kind of clamber into the table, like one eye will kind of open onto their group, and I'll pull myself off of my stool, and I'll make my way over to their table, and as I approach, I'll kind of gently wave my hand and say, "Hi, everybody. I'm I'm Reggie. Do you know where I could find adventuring work?
Nope.
Yeah, we have an opening. And Cat is getting fucking sloshed if they brought us our ales. They're just like downing the whole fucking thing.
You have tankards of Perry, which I'm not even sure exactly what Perry is, but I feel like it's closer to a wine than an ale.
That's fine. She's got a +1 con. I think that'll work just fine. Come around, drink a little with us.
I'll take the next round. I'll order myself. How about that?
Well, you're welcome, our friend Reggie. Sit down. Take 2 stools, or how many stools you need there. You look like you have a big shell.
The shell is big, but my ass is small. Just the one stool will be fine.
How big is Reggie?
He's probably about 4.5 feet tall. He's, the flesh on him doesn't seem too muscular or anything, but his shell is quite large and impressive. He wears kind of very simple, like cloth pieces that kind of drape over like sashes.
Hey, Reggie, your mushroom is showing. Just let you know.
Oh, well, yes, these are quite delicious. And I'm gonna reach over to my left shoulder and I'll pluck off one of the yellow ones and I'll hand it to him and say, just don't eat the cap.
Oh, okay. Thank you. And I'll take it, put it on my plate.
It's kind of like a shiitake mushroom, I would say.
And you'll see Finn investigating it inquisitively.
You said you had a opening. Is everybody okay?
Well, actually, Bryn said no, I think. Right, Bryn? I'll look up at Bryn.
Well, you should at least know that the last approximately 4-foot tall adventurer we had with us was eaten by orcs.
It's disdainful. I'm sorry for your friend.
Aye, he fought valiantly though. Took dozens of them with him. And I'll kick back another cup.
As I see, tankards getting closer to empty Adam, I'll order a couple more rounds for everybody.
Okay, yes, you motion to one of the waitresses moving about here, and yeah, you see she approaches and here's your request for more Phillips and brings some more sort of like a lot in one container that she just refills your glasses. So looks towards you guys with a bit of a smile, and yeah, was pretty happy to do so. So seemingly probably got the message here from Toblin that the pay has already been substantial and she doesn't look to collect additional.
So what you looking for exactly, stranger? You said adventuring work, but what kind of work you seeking?
Well, I have a variety of abilities. Quite adept at healing people. I have a range of magical spells I can call upon. But primarily, I'm looking for more areas to do my research. You see, I've studied fungus all my life, and well, not too many people like fungus, so it's been hard to find work.
You describe yourself as a fun guy, then?
Oh, I see what you did there. I see what you did there. That's so funny.
Yeah, and I drink again.
I'm sorry. I'm not too good at sarcasm, but um, uh, I could maybe keep an eye on you guys and make sure you stay healed.
Yeah, I seem to need that, to be honest with you. It's been a rough day.
You look like you've been hit in the face a few times, Mr. Kobold.
I'm Kurt too, Reggie, and no face injuries, just everywhere else. So this is the normal me. Lucky us. Yeah.
Perhaps a bath would be in order.
Let's see, Monday, Tuesday. Nope, not yet.
I'm from the Moonshay Isles. Have you guys ever heard of it?
I was born there, as a matter of fact. Whereabouts?
Oh, that's quite nice. I was born in a clan of druids outside of most of the major villages.
One of the Wilders, then. I met a few of your kind, I think. Memory's hazy. Just a kid then. I ever introduced myself? My name's Cash Sparrow, beard pirate of the Fortune's Folly. Maybe you heard of me.
I've heard of the Fortune's Folly, and it's nice to meet you, Cat. Like I said, my name is Reggie.
I will remember that. I will remember.
I hope you fight faster than you talk.
It doesn't take much for me to cast my spells, and my claws are quite sharp.
Hope you don't have to use any verbal spell. Oh, sorry. I just took my drink. You try to cast something like lightning bolt, and all of a sudden it comes out like sleep or something.
That hasn't happened to me yet, but the spells I'm good at actually only take one word. So that's something to consider in the future, I guess. You said that you were looking to continue working, or are you relaxing?
No more work for today, that's for sure. This has been a really rough day for us.
Then perhaps maybe tomorrow you can accompany me to the windmill. I hear there's an acolyte in need of warning, and it shouldn't be too far. Easy peasy.
Well, what? You're gonna eat that? What's in for us? What's the reward?
If I remember correctly, it said 25 gold pieces.
I think after the day that we've had today, though, I think light work will be fine. That's what I think.
It'll be a good chance for us to get to know each other. What do you say?
You're buying the next round, right?
Sure.
I'm in.
Sounds good to me. Do they have any darts or shuffleboard around here? And I'm looking around at them. Is there any games?
There seems to be like a couple folks at one of the tables playing some dice, but you don't notice any kind of actual like darts or anything other bar type games.
And Finn is lost in contemplation.
All right, so yeah, you guys enjoy eating some food and drinking and so forth. You notice eventually Toblin points out towards you here, Finn, and you see he gives you that sort of come here a second motion as he stands behind the counter.
Go back and climb off my stool and walk over to him.
Yes, I almost forgot. Did you come here with family, or did you come by yourself? Here to Fandolin, of course.
Just these friends here. Well, only one of them left, but yeah, by myself, not with family. Why?
I suspected as much. Well, this strange gnomish woman was here earlier today. It stripped my mind as I was so busy, but she said she was your mother and was trying to track you down, so I thought that was curious, but just be aware that she's around.
Oh my goodness. My mother?
That's what she said.
Huh. Is she staying here tonight?
No, I believe she said she was going to look out at the shrine and see if perhaps she could track you down. She came in the bar here and spoke to the waitresses, and by the time they called me over, they said yes, that little guy's mother was here looking for him. And, well, yeah, she said then she was looking for you, and I said, well, I'd seen him here before, but I did not know where you were at the moment. And she said, well, she'd be around town, and eventually she'd run into you.
Well, when's the last time you saw her? Because I'll go meet her.
You could try the shrine and see if she is there.
Oh, yeah. What time of day? Is it late?
It is late, yeah. It's probably 7 o'clock or so.
It's enough time for me to... I'm going to walk back to the table. Hey, guys, my mom's looking for me, and I mean, it's not like I'm running away from her, but she said she was my mother. Anyone want to come with me? They're just right at the shrine.
I will go.
Oh, thank you, Bryn. It looks up at you. We'll be right back. It's just my mother.
You want me to go too?
I don't see why. I mean, if it's really my mother...
Okay, I do need some alone time. That's fine. I'll sit over here at the table.
Yeah. I'll order Kurtu some more eggs.
All right, so it sounds like Finn and Bryn are going to exit the Stonehill Inn. Well, that rhymed way too much. And then head over to the shrine?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, so rather than split the party up, I'm just going to move everybody over to the Fandolin map here real quick. But the rest of you guys will be inside. And yeah, you make your way over to the shrine here. And as you start heading in this direction and you kind of turn this corner, you do notice that there is the back profile of a gnomish woman who is sort of kneeling down by this shrine.
I mean, do I recognize her like gait and her posture as my mom?
I don't think so, no, because as you look at the backside of her, you recognize her obviously as a gnomish woman, but from this direction and all that, you know, being that I assume you're quite familiar with your own mom, I don't think you could mistake this for her. But as you're kind of in this area, you notice she kind of turns and looks your way. All of a sudden, she says, "Oh, you must be Finn. It is good to see you."
You're not my mother.
Oh, now. A simple ruse. I wanted to make sure that I could get in contact with you without jumping through many hoops. You know how it is for our people.
Yeah, we don't do much jumping through anything. What is this ruse? Why do you need one?
Oh, well, you see, I arrived here in Fandolin trying to, well, see what I could do to help these poor people. Thinking, I could arrive and, assist here and there. And, well, everybody so far has just seemed to look over me. They don't spot me. Maybe it's because I'm so short, but they don't pay me any attention or any mind. But I said I was here to help, and they said, "Oh, what could you possibly do? We don't need another cook." And I said, "No, I actually am a magic person. I can cast spells." And they said, "Ah, ha, ha, very funny." So, well, I asked around a bit, and, well, I heard that your group was here, and that there was a gnome in there, and thought that was my inn.
And for what? I mean, this town, I mean, they seem quite normal. I mean, there's not like a lot of defense, but help them in what way? Is there a danger?
Surely you've heard all of these strange rumors about this flying huge beast that sparkles in the sunlight.
Well, yeah, I heard it in the bar. I don't put much to it.
Oh, well, I've been actually talking around town here. Oh, hello, ma'am. You see she looks over towards you, Bryn. My, you are a big one. Yes, very nice to see you. But yeah, well, other people around town have said as much that, yes, they've seen it before, too.
And are you traveling alone? I mean, you don't, I don't know, how much can you help against a dragon?
Well,
she's
not
probably better than our new tortoise friend.
Not by myself, of course, but, well, back home I practice the healer's art, so I tried to bring a little bit of that to bear, and, well, I figured if there were some brave people that were going to take care of this, I could probably help.
Take care of a dragon. And I look at her. A dragon? Really? I haven't seen one. I think it's just rumor.
I don't know. It seems like talking around town, a lot of people say that they have indeed spotted this beast. In fact, I picked up a very helpful hint that, well, if you're willing to take me with you, might just save your life.
That's fine. You can come with us.
Oh, joyous day, joyous day. You see she actually skips forward and hugs onto your leg very gently, Bryn, with a big smile as she looks up, and you can see this flower bouquet in her hair as she looks up to you and says, "Why, you are a very beautiful young lady. I bet all the guys around here are looking at you." But yes, the hint, well, I was told that there was these farmers that were out, and the dragon actually flew down to get them, and, well, they were just so shocked and terrified, of course, but the farmers actually fired their bows at the dragon. You would think farmers have no chance at all of surviving that, but apparently when the dragon gets hit a couple times, it decides it's not worth fighting and it flies away.
Well, okay. My name is Finnegan Tiglo of the Tiglo Tavern in Amthel. Have you heard of it?
Yes, I have. Not very familiar, though, I must say.
And you are?
You can call me Miza Whistlespell.
Miza.
Yes, or Granny. That's usually what the kids call me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, Miza, you want to come meet the rest of my friends?
Well, that sounds just splendid. I'd be happy to.
Okay, right this way.
All right, and I assume you guys head back to the Stonehill Inn then with Miza in tow.
And I'm going to walk in and say, are we continuing the mother ruse? Because I'm uncomfortable with that.
Oh, you say that directly to her?
Yes.
She looks towards you and she says, well, now that we've made our connection, I know if you don't want to, though I would take very good care of you. You know, oh, you got some dirt right there on your...
No, I'm fine. It's just, I love my mother very much, and she's blessed me on this voyage, and you made me quite worried that maybe she had ill news of my family. It was poorly placed, and it made me alarmed and miss home.
My apologies. Trust me, I didn't mean anything bad by it. I just wanted to make sure, well, if there's a gnomish person who has done so well and gained such respect of the place, I just had to meet them.
Well, okay, Miza. You're not my mother, but you're welcome to join us. Nice to meet you.
And she gives a big smile and says, oh, this is going to just be grand. All right, so those of you guys sitting in the Stonehill Inn, anything during this time that Bryn and Finn have left that you guys are doing other than Cat getting smashed and the rest of you guys eating and drinking?
No, I think that's probably what we would just be doing.
All right, fair enough. Getting your fill of food and drink, you would notice them return with this woman in tow. And Finn, how taller is Finn?
Oh my gosh, I think I put him at, well, let me check. Yeah, he's probably 3 feet tall. Made it easy.
So yes, you would notice that Misa is actually like 2 inches shorter than you, and she has this kind of frailish frame, and you can see again she's got this little bit like weathered skin, but seems to be moving about fine. Again, you would certainly place her in her later years, but doesn't seem to have any trouble getting around, at least so far.
Do you want some of this Priya? Is that what it is, Adam? I forgot
The
the name of it.
Perry?
Yeah, the Perry.
You see she looks and says, "Oh, no, I don't drink. No, thank you."
Okay, Toblin, can we get one more for my friend? One more here?
And your Toblin looks towards you and he says, "One more what exactly?"
Number 2.
"Oh, yes, of course." And you see he kind of makes his way back, and you can hear him speaking to the waitress once again. So the rest of you will notice Misa kind of stands nearby you guys. She's using a quarterstaff to walk around with. You get the impression she's kind of leaning at it a little bit, and she says, "Oh my, these are your friends here? Wow, this is marvelous. Such a diverse group. Wow, I'm very impressed. Look at you. Wow, are those actually cat's ears, young lady?"
Touch my tail, and I'll do another swing. But aye, they are.
My, how interesting. And then her eyes flash over towards Kurtu. Wow, a real, true live kobold. I don't think I've seen one of your kind for quite some time. It is very nice to meet you.
It's very nice to meet you too. Are you joining us?
Yes, I will try to lend my aid where I can and help you out.
Well, that's fantastic. Do you know that normally what happens with our group, though, is that the new person who joins us, buys the next round. I mean, that's a tradition. If you'd like to volunteer and support that, continue with tradition.
I will happily purchase you some waters, but I'm afraid I've always found that alcohol just leads to bad decisions.
Well, that's quite okay. You can buy us all some eggs later, then. Eggs are good.
Yes, I could do that, sure. And
And
my,
actually-
is this are you I'm sorry, I don't even know your species name, Mr. Turtle.
That is the species itself. Yup.
So you're Turtle the Turtle?
Name is Ronaldo.
No.
Kick another one back.
No, my name is Reggie. It's nice to meet you.
Reggie the Turtle. Well, that will be not difficult to remember, I imagine. Yes, nice to meet you, Misa Whistlespell. And you see she
Pleasure.
kind of gives this impression almost of like fawning over you guys, saying something nice about each one of you in turn and giving each of you a nice big smile.
Your mother is so nice, Finn. She's staying with us for a while.
Yes, I will help where I can. And you see she smiles over towards Finn.
Well, actually, we could use our water skins refilled. That's a good idea. And I'll pull mine out.
Like you're handing it over to her?
Mm-hmm.
And she looks down and says, "You're not really going to make me walk over and fill your water skins up, are you? Is this
Well-
just your way of trying to get a moment with me not here? You can just say, hey, give me a moment with my friends. That's okay."
No, everyone put your water skins on the table. We should have them filled. The waitress will fill them up. You don't have to do it.
And you see she looks at you and kind of has this disapproving look for a moment and says, "Oh, I see. Okay." All right. So, yeah, is there anything in particular you guys would like to do here rather than trying to rest and relax over the last few hours of the day and sleep here at the Stonehill Inn and get ready to go tomorrow with whatever your next assigned task may be, or chosen task, I should say?
I mean, I have so many questions for Misa, and I guess I'll say, so Are you by yourself? You just traveled by yourself, and you just felt compelled to help people in Fandalen? I don't. It's shocking to me.
Oh, well, my story is a long and not all interesting one, but the most interesting things happened to me most recently, but they are not the most happiest things, I must say. Yes, my life was in a very different direction before. I haven't always been an adventurer, as you can imagine, but, well, lately I've decided to, assist people where I can. I just really hate to think of people are in pain and hurting out there, and, well, if I can do what I can in the last years of my life to help them, that's what I'm going to do.
Can I insight that?
Sure, yeah, go ahead and click on your token and insight. Hard to say. You certainly have this impression of, like, maybe a bit of a guarded of what she has just said, and obviously she's just given you the there's layers, and I'm not telling you what those layers are speech, so you don't pick up anything in particular beyond that.
All right. So where are you staying? You staying here at the inn?
Oh, well, normally I just stay out underneath the stars. I find sleeping out on the ground much nicer and more relaxing than sleeping inside of an inn.
Well, I'm quite the contrary. I'm very comfortable in an inn, although I do prefer an inn with darts and shuffleboards and things to do. But, it's only my second time here. I'll talk to Toblin about that later.
Oh, you like games. Oh, I love playing 20 Questions. Do you know that one?
20 Questions? Of course I know that one. It's a Gnomish tradition.
Well, we could certainly play that. Maybe all of your friends would like to play too.
Nope.
Yes, I am with the little dragon man. No.
Oh, maybe another time.
Kurtu kind of puffs himself up when he hears he's called the Dragon Man. He thinks that's cool.
So
Friend keeps drinking.
we were talking about what to do tomorrow. You think it's a good idea to go up on that hill and warn the acolyte about the dragon?
I don't know. Misa, is that what you were talking about?
Yes, indeed. Well, I heard tale in the town here that there's this woman that lives out there all by herself. That must be dangerous, right? I thought it would be good for us to go out there and let her know.
I agree with the elderly woman there.
Misa, you're welcome to join us, and I'll put my hand on her hand, and I'll say, but we can't guarantee your safety, nor can we guarantee any reward, or that you would even return. Usually we have these sort of things planned out, and you're quite new, and also for you, Reggie, we can't guarantee your safety either. I mean, we just got finished nearly dying. We lost a friend already. This adventuring thing is sobered me up for sure.
But maybe if I was there, you wouldn't have died.
So you're
Did
willing
we die?
for this? Well, we did lose Bramble, and just so you know the risks. I don't want you to take too much on and look at her very kindly.
And she kind of returns your look with a little bit of sternness, and she says, Now, I've lived a long, happy life, and as I said, this calling has now come to me. If I should fall on one of these journeys, well, I can't say I won't have been doing what I really wanted to do, bringing more peace and happiness into the world.
I've got to say, Finn, I agree. I've got research to do, and I can't do that just sitting on my ass.
Research? Like tonight?
Always doing research whenever I can.
Oh, you know what I can do? I have this thing, and I pull out I like stand up on the table again, and I walk over to him. And I say, I have this thing, and I pull out. It looks like a Zippo lighter, and I flip it up, and I look. I put the flint, and I make friction, and there's a little oil in there, and it causes a flame. Look, I made a lighter.
That's pretty cool. I also see you carrying numerous cooking utensils on your belt. I'm quite the forager, and I can tell you what's poisonous and not poisonous, so perhaps I can help you there as well.
Oh, okay. I'm glad you mentioned it. Is this mushroom you gave me poisonous or not poisonous?
Don't eat the cap, just eat the stem.
Okay. Now or later?
You can have it now. It's better raw. It should taste like pork.
I'm going to pick it up, look at him in the eyes, and eat the stem.
Yep, I mean, it's just a mushroom. Tastes good.
Oh, it is nice. What's it called?
I don't know. They've been growing on me.
Mushroom.
That's a good name for it.
So Finn will jump down and look around Reggie and say, "Are there any more?" I'm gonna look around your back end of the shell and look under your armpit and just real curiously finding more mushrooms.
Yeah, I mean, there's little patches that grow amongst my shell, and then like on my actual hands, like where my I guess you could say my claws would meet the skin. There's also like little moss that grows in that area, but not any mushrooms. But yeah, it's primarily on my shell, on the back side of the shell.
Isn't that on the east side of your shell?
It doesn't grow on the north side, so it's really dependent upon where I'm facing.
Good, we won't get lost.
I didn't say that, but I am quite accustomed to the lands and the forest in this area. I could probably help you find your way around, yeah.
Oh, sorry, Misa. I just get excited and I forget where I am. Sit down.
Yes, it's dangerous for someone of our stature to get up that high. If you fall off, you could break a bone.
It's quite okay. I get to clean up around here and I get paid for it, so let me clean up the dirt.
And you see she looks to her and says, "Oh, you clean up? Well, I'm sure you and I will get along just fine then."
Mm-hmm. As long as, that's good.
All right, so is there any other questions you have for Misa or anything anybody else would like to do tonight before getting their rest in for the morning? All right, sounds like not. So you guys will finish up eating and drinking here and perhaps sharing a few different stories. Altogether, I'd say you find Misa to be very pleasant and very perhaps particular about how she likes things done. She's not very strict or rude or anything like that, but pretty much if you do something that you might consider improper, she will probably either get antsy and shift around, or maybe she'll mutter to herself and say something along these lines. And probably noticing Kat doing a bunch of drinking, she might be doing that. "You've probably had enough now, darling, don't you think?" And try to she's one of those teetotalers is probably the impression that you get from her. But other than that, I would say she's largely pleasant. And you guys enjoy this rest of your time and all manage to rest overnight, getting your long rest and leveling up to level 2, guys.
Yes!
Woohoo!
Woo!
Woo!
All right, so I know we are a little bit short here of our normal end time, but due to this level up, I think it probably will make most sense to pause our game here and pick up next week. So go ahead and level up your characters to 2. Let me know if there's any questions about level up. Yep, Talhoun will level up as well. So as a reminder, first session miss, no lost EXP, so you're all good there. So yeah, you guys will all be level 2. I'll update the EXP chart, but yeah, I know for sure you guys all hit 2. And yeah, if there's any questions about level 2 features, reach out, let me know. If not, does anybody have any last minute questions, comments, concerns before we wrap for tonight? All right, hearing none, then great session, guys. Yeah, very deadly battle there. Unfortunately, we lost Bramble, but hopefully we will see that Reggie is a great addition to our group. Looking forward to learning more about him and see how things go. So yeah, good session, everybody. We will see you all next week.
Thanks, guys. Good job.
Good session, everybody.
These dice rolls were brutal, but we made it through.
Yeah, which is all great because
The bad rolls were taken this week.
This is the first time I've ever had a companion adventurer eaten by the opposing party.
Yeah, never a good one.
And almost had your own companions eat party members. So you never know. It's getting a little grim there, but yeah. All right, good session, guys. Have a good one.